Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download and 30-day free trial at www.audibletrial.com/culturalstew. Over 180,000 titles to choose from for your iPhone, Android, Kindle, or MP3 player.
Please listen carefully.
Welcome to the Cultural Stew Podcast, coming to you from the Goat Factory Media Entertainment Studios. We are your cultural media recommendation podcast, giving you our take on what we think is worth carving your time out for, and also what we think you can pass on and maybe go cut that lawn instead. Warning, we use adult language, and there may be spoilers ahead. Hello and welcome to the Cultural Stew Podcast, episode 14 for the week of June 10th, 2018. My name is Ron Herkins Jr., your host, and my co-hosts are
Tony Carter,
Valerie Vidmar,
and we have a special guest today,
Kendra Hacker.
Welcome. Kendra is
a fellow Jayhawk,
and
my niece.
There we go.
Sorry, you always got. I mean, now you've had
two.
Dewey was a Jayhawk. My dad sat in here. Jayhawk.
Well, we haven't had Dewey technically yet because they don't know who Dewey is because they haven't been introduced to him yet because I'm behind on the episodes.
That's okay. Dustin hasn't been in there yet either.
Spoilers.
But I'm wondering if...
Well, Dustin was on here during the actual show.
Oh, he was. He also, I think, went to KU for a little bit.
I have like 6 of those episodes sitting there that need to be finished up.
I can help you soon.
Yeah. So... welcome to the show. It's been a busy 2 weeks. What have you been up to, Tony?
I've been just writing and researching like always. So writing a movie soon, hopefully this week or next, and then spitting that out before or after my son comes. So a lot of crazy running around. Theater season is still picking up. I have to do Survivors this Monday and Tuesday, I think. It's a Wendy Kaut play that Ralph Moranto, JCC, commissioned, and it's about the Holocaust. So
I'm doing it over at the JCC.
I will be, yeah. So I'll be doing promo stuff for that and then recording it for archives.
You made it sound like you were writing a film and spitting it out right after the baby.
I am.
So you're like one of those people?
Yeah.
That's,
I have a film itch. I was writing a play, I still am, but I just need to make a film
so
too.
you're going to write a film in a couple of days?
Probably about a week. Yeah.
Get that. Okay.
When you got an itch, you got to scratch it.
You do. Baby is due when?
June 22nd.
Oh, okay, June 22nd. I was thinking it was, and you had an anniversary, and so did I.
Yeah. We saw Infinity War. We saw it.
That's right.
Yeah.
See, if it comes out on the 22nd, you should name it Malcolm.
Sebastian Sticking. Middle
I
names,
like Sebastian.
Middle names are not coming to us so freely, but I know Grace wants an African one.
Malcolm? Sebastian Malcolm?
No. I'm not feeling
Sebastian Grant?
Grant, not so much. I mean, Grant's what we use for our email. Actually, Grant
She's
is...
lost. She doesn't know what I'm referencing.
Grant is Grace and Anthony combined together when we do our emails for spam emails and stores.
22nd is also when Jurassic World comes out.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
there's a Jurassic Park connection there.
I would do it, but Grace wouldn't go for it. She's not a fan of those
So
movies.
he gets a threesome. He gets the movie reference and Grace and Anthony. Great.
That's cute.
What have you been up to, Valerie?
I am riding high a little bit on painkillers, but you know, we're getting there. Let's see. Friday, we went to see. Was it Friday or Saturday? Saturday. That was Saturday. Yeah, that'd be Saturday. My daughter Harper, who says that I never say her name on here. Harper, I'm saying her name.
Hi, Harper.
She is 5, and her little tap and ballet recital at St. John Fisher was that night. And then the same night, Zoe and I ran over, Jay drove us, over to the Red Wings game because the Indian Landing, that was the night for Indian Landing.
School.
Yeah, the elementary school. That was their night to go. So we went for that, and it was a gorgeous night. I enjoyed just sitting there. It was really funny because I sat there and I was like, So I leaned down and I tapped, who are we playing? I don't know. So behind me, this guy was like, okay, hey, who are we playing? I have no idea. Like, it had visitor on the thing. So I kept asking people. I finally got the answer. We played Buffalo.
The Bisons. Nice.
Yeah, we were playing Buffalo, but no one had a clue. People are just eating cotton candy, not caring, enjoying the night, talking with friends. So I did that, and
that's what I've come to find out with going to as many baseball games as I had, is that over half the people that are there are just there to drink and have a good night. They could care less about baseball. It's just the atmosphere is a fun atmosphere to be in.
And I was so happy to be out of the house.
That's why nobody likes pitching duels except for people that follow baseball.
Like you?
Because everybody likes exciting things to happen on the field.
I don't know what
they
pitching
like to
duels
cheer
are.
loud. It's when like nobody hits anything and the pitchers breeze through an inning and just strike out.
Oh, right.
We had one of those like 2 weeks ago that we went to, and I was in heaven, and everybody else was like, "This is boring. I'm gonna go home."
No, I think if it's a nice night, it's perfect. But
Friday was a beautiful night,
but we went home early, so I kind of, poor Kendra, who is youthful. She's 23. She's got all the energy in the world, and I keep signing her up for things like, you know what? Don't worry about it. You and your friends, I'll get you all set up, and hopefully if I can come, I will. But then I'll take you to a game. You guys can arrive mid-game and stay for the fireworks. She'll take you. It won't be a problem. So I'm just kind of saying you'll take people. You're up for that, right?
Sure. Yes.
My God, my theater graduate is never quiet. This is about as quiet I've ever heard.
She's going to have to open up on this episode one way or another, because we kind of blew up a couple of things leading up to this. She will.
But anyway, that's all I really did. There's other things, but I don't remember them. So
they'll come back to you.
Sometimes that's a good thing that you don't remember something that happened, depending on what it is. We opened up Merry-Go-Round season this week, so I got photos for that. They opened
Mamma
up
Mia.
Mamma Mia.
I saw those shots. They're nice shots.
That's not all of them. I got a lot more to do, but you kind of get into this really like, what time did I get home? I think I rolled into home about 1:45 in the morning.
Yeah.
And so I had to get them back to them at 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Mm-hmm. So I
How many shots did you take?
Probably the most I've ever taken in theater. It was like 2,200.
What was this for?
And that's mainly because I'm trying to do a fast shutter on a lot of the dancing scenes that are. That was for Merry-Go-Round, Finger Lakes Music Theater
okay.
Festival.
I thought it was like a high school. Like, wait, what? Okay.
No.
Mary's a good.
I would never put that much work into a high school show.
Yeah. I
rephrase that. If you pay me, I will, but
not willingly. Yeah.
You just put a lot of work into a high school show. Did you get paid for that?
I did not get paid for that. It was all volunteer. I did Peter Pan.
Yeah.
I did the costumes, the lighting, the costume design, costume construction.
You also rewrote the script.
I rewrote the script.
And
I directed as well.
May I ask you why you rewrote the script? What about it need to be rewritten?
We did the first version. So like the play came out first and then he wrote the book. We did the J.M. Barrie. We didn't do the musical. We did the play. And it was before he made any edits. It was the I'm probably not going to go right on this date, but it was like the 1916 version.
Okay.
And he, at the end of this one, Wendy turns into a witch, and she gets fat and turns into a witch. So we just kind of changed it to what his ending was in the book, which is Peter comes back and Wendy's older and Jane's in bed.
I think that's sweet, though.
So that was the only thing we really changed. And we also changed, because there's a lot of racism in the first early versions.
I recall I was going to mention that. But,
so we had to change a lot of those for high school production because, it kind of shocked the kids a little bit because they were like, isn't this a kid's show? And we're like, yeah, it is.
But I think it was kind of cool because my sister, Wendy, was named after the character Wendy in
Wendy
Peter
Darling.
Pan. So they actually had her play the aged Wendy in the play.
Wendy.
Aw.
I thought that was really sweet. Anyway.
That's cool. The other highlight of my week was going and seeing Jack White this week.
And
So on my list of people that I wanted to ever see and go and see a concert, I'm not a huge concert person. I'm not a big fan of the strobing lights and the loud people and the obnoxious fans and smells in general. So I typically
you're going to the wrong concerts.
That's what any concert gets like.
I just typically stay. Every concert is loud. Every concert has lights.
Okay, right.
Yeah, and
Got
this
it.
is a rock concert, so it's checking off pretty much every single one of those boxes.
How'd it go?
Great, loved it. Wasn't impressed by the opening act, Radkey. As I was telling you, Anthony earlier, it's just they felt very amateurish to me. Kind of everything felt the same, with the exception of like one song that I'm like stood out and like, yeah, that one can go someplace. And that's probably the song that got them to be the opening act for Jack White. Everything else was very much sounded the same, played the same. Everything had a guitar solo. All the guitar solos sound the same. They did the amateurish moves of like the headbanging, the strutting across the stage with the guitar, jumping with the guitar, the back-to-back with the guitar's up in the air. Like all the things that like if you asked
80s.
a high school kid, like, what do you think a rock concert
To play
would be
an
in
air
the
guitar?
80s? Yeah. And they like checked off every single box. I'm like, yeah,
Time
I'm
warp.
not really for this. So
Where did you see it?
it was at the Dome Arena,
Henrietta.
Oh.
It's one of our newer venues out here.
I didn't
that they
know
just
about
started.
it. Sorry.
Yeah, they had a couple acts in here like this. Like Vance Joy was in on Wednesday, and Jack White was here.
We'll get you out
All
more.
rock
Don't worry.
stuff. But Jack's show was pretty amazing. You know, to see somebody who
I'm glad you got to see
been
him.
around for a while, and the coolest thing to me was like he wasn't like at the end of every number stopping and waiting for people to applause for him.
I hate
He
that.
was rolling right into like he would literally be playing guitar and just do a transition,
Mm-hmm.
and they'd be rocking right into the next thing. So there was like no like pining for adoration. It's like he's up there doing what he loves to do. He's jamming for 2 hours, and at the end of it, you know, there you go. So back-to-back years, I get to cross off the top
Good
two
for you.
people on my list, so I'm happy.
That's cool.
And they couldn't be more different.
No. His
Hans.
first was Hans Zimmer.
That's cool.
She would really.
He never goes on tour, and he just happened to go on tour last year.
That's cool.
So
I got
And,
my.
you know, he was at Coachella. I mean, how many
He talked
people
about
get
that in the truck. She was asking me, "How do you know these people?" Well, okay. I was a stalker, and then we were in the truck for 37 hours or however long.
Basically, how Valerie meets anybody.
Stalker. Stalker.
Well, that sounds like you're on like a tractor trailer truck, but that's okay. You
It
met
does.
them on the truck.
Oh, right. The ride down to Georgia Death Race.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
All right. Well, that wraps up that on our docket today. We got a ton of news that happened in the last couple weeks. Go through our recommendations of the week. We got Valerie going on. Whoa, everything changed here.
It did. No, it did. And I'm actually going to talk about Hush.
Hush. There we go.
And we could talk about Ex Machina, but we don't.
I'm surprised you didn't know what that word was.
Ex Machina.
You're a theater person.
Machina.
You should know how to pronounce that word. That's in Greek theater text. We talk about that all the time.
I didn't study
Isn't it
theater.
Latin?
I'm a film person.
It's like
She is
Greek.
the theater person.
I know, but still, they kind of mention it a lot.
She was the one that kept saying it, dude. I was correcting her.
Okay, we'll get there when we get there.
It's one of those things that, like, you know, not everything's going to be pronounced right. As
Right.
long as we get our point across, that matters more to me.
Right.
So we got Hush, and I'm going to touch on the Sense8 finale, which was yesterday. And Tony's going to do Delta Force. I thought that said Delta Farce earlier. I'm
No.
like, what? That's a completely different movie that we don't really have any interest in.
Okay.
And then we're going to basically shit show the rest of the show and see what happens
All right.
after that.
That's fine.
I think we're talking a little bit about theater and film crossing over.
Kind of blew up our original
We can
stew.
talk about. I may talk about that instead of Delta Force. Delta Force can be a different day, so we'll see what happens. Get there.
Okay.
So what happened this week, Tony?
Well, first off, tonight are the Tony Awards. So we have Josh Groban and Sarah Bareilles hosting.
And we can talk. We were talking more about that later, right?
We will. So that's just the
What
tonight.
is tonight on
CBS, 8
at-
o'clock.
There we go. Awesome.
Radio City Music Hall, in case you want to stop by and crash. So
I'm pretty sure they won't like that.
well, no, but I mean, you can just hang outside. They do these like singing dance numbers outside the theater now.
I mean, I have a friend that's ushering. She'll just let you in.
Yeah. That's a good thing about ushers. They just let you in.
They just let you
Standing
in.
back.
Yeah.
Why didn't you do that?
That's Eastman for you right there.
She could have just let you in. You had an in this year.
You want to sit down.
This is her first time. I don't know if she wants to get in trouble.
All right.
So,
What else happened?
sadly, Anthony Bourdain passed away on Friday, I think it was. Friday morning in France. So, that was heartbreaking for a lot of people.
Jason was really sad about that.
So, I mean, I didn't really know him personally or watch much of his stuff, but he had a presence and affected a lot of people.
It was interesting because this was one of those ones that, like, across the board, like, everybody that even, like, heard of him remotely or watched something of it, there was, like, equal, like, shock and, like, oh, man, that's, like, a really, it's devastating loss to the community in general, because he really just, he was one of those guys that told it like it was. Mm-hmm. He didn't give any shit about, like, your feelings in the way he said it, but it was universally across the board. There wasn't like one group saying, oh, well, at least we don't have this voice anymore. It was just like, well, this is a shitty thing to happen to the community.
Jason never said, he just said that he had passed away. So I didn't understand behind the scenes there. So,
yeah, it's a sad,
like that's devastating.
Suicide is we've talked about it before. Suicide is it's a shitty thing in general, and it happens a lot each day. And unfortunately, it takes these celebrity deaths for us to, like, have an open conversation on these things, when that's part of the problem of why there are so many suicides, is because
nobody talks about,
mental health closes you off. It closes off the party that is suffering from it and don't want to talk about it, and then the people that are on the outside are afraid to talk to the people that are suffering.
Right.
But it's like
the thought of being in so much pain, which is what I always was so kept thinking over and over and over, I guess, when Robin Williams died, was the fact that the pain he felt was so much that dying was better. It was a pain release. And he also felt like most people feel a lot of, I mean, I don't know, but that they are a burden to people. And you never know what it is. But it's sad for those around him and for him in general, but I don't know. And I didn't realize that's...
sadly, he wasn't the only notable death.
Kate Spade. Kate Spade was actually... She was born in Kansas City, Missouri. That's a big difference. She was 55. And she also went to the University of Kansas. And she launched her Kate Spade handbags in 1993. I don't even know what to say about this. She also hung herself in the same... I don't know. I find it... I'm at a loss for words when it comes to things like this. I don't even know what to say, because everybody feels like they've got it made. Money does not make anything. Money does not do a thing.
Suicide is one of those things that, doesn't care if you're rich, doesn't care if you're poor.
No.
It's a mental thing, and...
Sadly, we have a hard time talking about when we're down, or if we have anxiety, if we have this again.
I read something the other day, and it rang true. It's like, we live in a society that really doesn't shy away from talking about, like, breast cancer or testicular cancer. And so we openly talk about breasts and men's junk,
right,
with abandon, but we rarely talk about something that is treatable and can be helped a lot by just talking to somebody through suicide.
A lot of it, which I've come across in my life, are people that don't believe that what you have is a real thing. So if you have anxiety, you just need to meditate, or you just need to breathe. You just need to go exercise. You just need to do this and do that.
You just need to calm down.
Yeah,
Right.
calm down.
And to be fair, in some cases, that is the right answer at the right time.
Right.
But it's how it's interpreted may not always be the way it needs to be said to that certain person. At the right
But there are people that have chronic anxiety every single day. I am one of them. So it's just something that you have. I have friends that have actually been struggling lately with it. So it's just one of those things, and it's hard to figure out to talk to about it. And to take medication in general. I mean, my parents didn't really know what medication I was on. So having them come to take care of me was like, oh crap, they're going to know now all the medication I'm on, which was like, and they didn't say a word. They didn't, which was really kind. When you're in that, you shield it because you're ashamed or you feel like people aren't going to understand or people are going to treat you differently, or I don't know. It's a hard thing to talk about, but I think it also makes some of the most interesting people. And I'm not just talking about myself. I'm just saying there's a lot that when you're in the arts or you're creative or, you find it a lot in those fields, writers and creators and people that are in their heads a lot, coming up with new ideas all the time.
So moving on from that, we'll talk about,
We'll get there.
You'll go there. What else was going on this week? Got a bunch of new trailers that came out. Anything that you saw?
Well, I saw A Star is Born on YouTube. Like I always see my trailers because Apple is kind of being sluggish lately with their trailers. But A Star is Born has Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga.
I'm so excited.
I did not know he could sing.
Neither did I.
I was shocked, and I was shocked that I was glad that she, I hate the Lady Gaga look.
I like her normal.
To see her
sans
stripped
makeup.
down to that was actually...
What?
Nothing.
I just got the death stare.
Yeah, exactly.
I was calming her down.
Why?
I'm not upset.
No.
I like Lady Gaga a lot. I actually saw her in December. I saw her in December. She was amazing, and it was the Lady Gaga thing, but it was for her Joanne tour, and she was more toned down than I've ever seen her, because that album deals with her depression and some of her illnesses. So she was very calm.
I will say that she is very outspoken about.
But I'm so excited she's the one that's been chosen to be in this film.
Was she the one that performed last year or was it the year before at the Tony Awards?
Yes.
That sang the... December, was it?
She sang
was it
for...
Judy Garland?
Yes.
No, not Judy Garland.
Yes, she sang Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
Right. Sorry.
In the big white
Beautiful.
dress.
Beautiful.
Yes.
And that was like her stepping point to say, like, I can sing.
By the way, I'm classically trained.
Yeah, she's classic. And that was enjoyable for me because it was like, I hate pop-ish music, and it was like nice. It was a refreshing breath of air to say, oh, okay, it's good to see that, like, behind that, there is that. A couple other ones. Wreck-It Ralph Breaks the Internet. Looks like the Emoji Movie on steroids. I don't know if I can wrap my head around it.
I can't.
Did you see the first one?
The first one I liked.
Yes.
I haven't liked either of the trailers I've seen for the
I
second
haven't
one.
The trailers
either.
have looked weird.
My daughter, my 8-year-old, was just like,
The
no.
funniest part was where she's in with the princesses, and like that was it. Everything else outside
which
of that
has been leaked, and so you see the whole scene.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not a Wreck-It Ralph person, so.
The one that I'm really excited for is looks really good is Bad Times at the El Royale with looks great.
Who's in it?
It's got Cynthia Erivo. Is it Jeff Daniels? I think Jeff Daniels, full beard.
Okay.
John Hamm, Nick Offerman, and Chris Hemsworth as basically the villain.
I don't know the story of this. I don't know anything about. Sorry.
It didn't really show too much of the story other than it's this, the El Royale is a classic hotel that straddles Nevada and California. So you can go there and you can choose whether you want to sleep in California or want to sleep in Nevada.
Oh, I didn't
because
know
you
that.
have different laws between sleeping in Nevada and sleeping in California.
I didn't know about that.
But this puts a little twist on it, and like you go behind the scenes with John Hamm and you can see into everybody's room. And the first thing you see is, I hope I'm not screwing up. I think it is Jeff Daniels comes in and he's wearing preacher's outfit, and you see him when John Hamm's looking into his room, he's digging out a chest from underneath the floorboards of the room. And Cynthia Erivo is in another room full on singing. And for those who don't know, Cynthia Erivo, she was in
The Color Purple.
The Color Purple.
Speak it up.
And so she's in there just jamming away. And by the end of the movie, she's running through the rain with a gun, holding it at the preacher. And he goes, just so you know, I'm not a preacher. And she's like, no shit. And then you've got Chris Hemsworth just being a complete Looney Tune guy that looks like he's a hippie out of the 60s and 70s. But I think he's positioned to be the bad guy in it. But it just looks fantastic. And it's by Damien Chazelle, who did La La Land. So it's even more like, ooh.
That's interesting.
When I saw that, I was like, oh, wait, no, not this movie. I'm sorry, I'm confusing. Damien Chazelle is directing The First Man, which has Ryan Gosling in it, which also came out. So I was watching two of them.
I didn't see that until you put it on here, so that was my little yay here, my note.
I don't know how I feel about it. It's got Claire Foy plays his wife.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ryan Gosling. I like Gosling, but he doesn't carry the presence of what I know of
Neil.
The character.
I can understand.
So,
but it did seem to bring up a lot of things that I didn't think about, or things that maybe the public didn't know about. It looks
the question
scary
is
to
how
me.
close to the truth it is.
Well, I'm sure that somebody will find
how
that
much
out.
of artistic license there is with that.
Well, I'm wondering. Somebody had to pick him. I wonder why they picked him.
Who's playing Michael? And
Damien Chazelle, he was from La La Land.
Right, pet guy. Who's
They
playing
worked
Michael
together.
I know.
Brought him on over.
Who's playing Michael and Buzz? Do you know?
I have no clue.
No clue. Okay.
But I think I saw Michael Sheehan was in this too. I think I saw a brief, like he was sitting at one of the councils.
Okay.
Please don't make him cheat. Please don't make him cheat. Okay. I have a historical knowledge of NASA and stuff like that. So,
What do you think about the casting?
I don't know. I mean, I've not read the screenplay yet.
I think it just came out yesterday.
But I had not seen the trailer.
Friday that the trailer just came out. It was like one of those like, oh, okay.
I am not on the same.
I'm not against people playing real life people. They don't have to resemble them. I need them to play the part accurately. Like The Right Stuff was a very good film. It came out in the 80s. And
I watched that.
That was a really long movie, but it was captivating. And the actors portrayed their parts in the right way. And I mean, the standout performance for me in that role was, the film was his name? Ed Harris playing John Glenn.
Yeah, he was excellent.
So
I actually got to meet John Glenn.
Really?
Yes.
How was it?
I met him when I was 7 years old. Because the junior high school that my sister went to in Arizona was John Glenn's high school. So he came and did the speech, and
namesake.
We got to say hi. How you doing?
Do you have anything?
I had no clue who he was when I met him.
Do you have an autograph?
No, he's 6.
I had no clue who he was.
I just didn't know if they passed them out just preemptively.
No.
I don't remember that.
I saw a trailer for the first time today, actually, called The Old Man and the Gun. And it stars Robert Redford and Sissy Spacek, and I love them both. It's the story of Forrest Tucker, who escaped San Quentin and then began to rob banks at the age of 70. That's all I know about it. And but the fact that they're in it, I'm going to go see it. Now, I believe the guy that is directing this, he just directed, I can't remember, a movie that I did last week, and I said he normally works with...
Did he do the book club?
Yeah. I think maybe it's the same guy.
director?
No, I don't want to.
Well, you were saying, I know you were talking about book club. You were saying he usually works with Rob Redford.
I think that it's the same guy because I remember feeling like that he's got another one coming out with Redford. So that's kind of interesting. I did see the book club again this week and stayed awake for the whole thing.
And stayed awake. And you had figured out you lost how much time?
About an hour. But I did stay awake this entire time.
You did a review
on a movie I saw half of.
Foul.
Because I think
Red flag.
I know, but I didn't know how much I'd missed.
It's okay.
I'm,
You get a pass on that
I'm
one.
gonna say still go for fun.
Yeah.
So it's still a go.
There's a little bit of theater and film crossover news. In the Heights has been officially greenlit and is coming out in 2020. So
Is
Lin-Manuel Miranda's.
I don't know how I feel about him playing the lead part. I know he originated the role and it's his baby, but I would give it to someone else.
why
Younger.
Why?
I don't know. He still feels youthful to me.
I know.
Very youthful.
I know, but I don't just.
I
It's
don't
okay.
feel like it would. Why even see it if he's not going to be?
Because the work is great without him. That's why he has understudies.
Oh God,
I like him a lot. I'm just saying, you give it to someone else. Let him.
But he's also a big name draw.
he's a big
Yeah.
name draw. People want to
So.
see him.
He's gonna.
Truthfully, my daughter. Zoe.
I
can't
do
even
love him.
express how much
but
she
it's,
loves this man.
You know,
She's.
I mean, are they going to bring back the entire original cast of In the Heights?
that I don't know. I don't.
Are we
believe
gonna
it.
pull on
we'd
My
have
Fair
to bring
Lady?
on Hamilton, half of Hamilton's cast to be back in it.
Are we going to pull My Fair Lady where we get everybody else except Julie Andrews?
I'm just saying.
I think it would end up being good. If Lynn is involved in any way, I think
feel like it'll be
end up being
good.
Be better than Rent, that's for sure. But it's a different story. Sorry.
So,
than
like I
Rent
said, there's
in
a
general, you
lot of news.
Rent,
So,
the movie musical, is horrible.
Okay.
a surprising news: Solo is completely bombing at the box office, and because of this, there's also news that Kathleen Kennedy may be on her way out at Lucasfilm.
You know what it is?
Sad.
Because Solo is Harrison Ford,
And
I just don't.
I stand
know
by
it-
what I said
I know.
last week. Is that
You did a good review.
he did not embody who I feel Han Solo was.
Yeah.
And when you lose that, then it stops becoming. And it was hard to shake that. So I still think they could have done without a Solo movie.
I think so too. I think you were on point. I was kind of talking to my sister about it.
And I can't say Ron Howard did a bad job because he put together a fine film. It's a good film. It's a romantic styled action in the way that the 40s and 50s action movies were very much romanticized type. Think of Lawrence of Arabia. It's
Good movie.
it's an action movie, but it's romanticized in a very different way.
Whoa. No, I mean, interesting.
Do you know what I mean by romanticized? Not
Yes,
like
yes.
the love interest is. It's
No,
just
I do.
romanticized. It's a very.
But I feel like you were right on cue when you were saying
Sensationalism.
that the Lando Calrissian character, that would have been interesting. And since he did a better job, that may have been a better movie.
And that's kind of like why I liked Rogue One a little bit better, is because you're learning about whole new characters, or you're learning about people that you knew
I enjoyed Rogue One.
very little about. I feel like Han Solo is just too. It's just too big of a character that everybody loved too much, and so you get the emotions come in.
Yeah, and we saw him over 4 films over the course of 30, 40 years. So it's like we had enough of him.
I think Harrison Ford did too.
He insisted that they killed him.
Yes.
He would not have signed on. Finishing up here.
We had enough of him? We'd had enough of him?
He gets restless.
You feel like you had enough of him?
Of Solo.
Yeah.
I didn't feel the Han that we got
The last Han
at the last Han.
was the same.
I didn't feel like he was fully in it.
No, he wasn't.
And
I still
so
cried
yeah, I
for a very
feel
long
like
time.
we got our fill of who Han Solo was.
Right. Got it.
It's such a big universe that there's so many other people that we can tap into that
Universe. It's kind of funny. Sorry.
galaxy. All right. Marvel Fox deal is being threatened by Comcast because Comcast is offering all cash for it instead of Disney, who's offering all stock. So that might go tank soon, but hopefully.
What does that mean? Taking over their...
Fox is selling Fox.
Okay.
And Disney
Fox.
offered Fox Pictures, Fox,
Spotlight,
everything.
all that stuff.
Everything
Everything.
under the Fox
The
banner.
property.
Why?
Because Rupert Murdoch wants to sell it and get rid of it.
Okay.
And so part of that, as we've talked about before, was Disney, who owns Marvel, put in the biggest bid, which was $60 billion in stocks and other things. And so the news to Marvel was that we get all of our properties that are sitting at Fox back underneath the Marvel banner. Now, Comcast has stepped in and offered $60 billion in cash, which means that the deal with Disney is flimsy here now. But Comcast is evil, and we don't want Comcast.
Oh my God, I can't even imagine that.
What?
That Comcast, it just doesn't even seem right.
Yeah, and so the only way now, and Comcast is saying they have a lot more cash to add to that if Disney counteracts it, because now what they're saying is that Disney is going to have to make a cash and stock offer.
Which they could.
They could, yeah.
Do they want
how far are they going to push that?
Right.
How valuable is that Fox property? It's valuable to get those names back, but they were also, you've got Fox Pictures, you've got everything else that's underneath that. You've got the Fox News Network and all that it takes care with it. But all the,
Fox Searchlight.
It's a huge package.
That's a possibility, though, if Disney buys it, right?
Who knows?
When I was commenting on Fox News being booted.
One more superhero news. News came out this week of a guy who had watched Infinity War for 42 times. He was already up 42 times, and people were kind of mixing of you're insane, you're stupid, you're an awesome person. Hey,
too much free time.
It just came out yesterday that for all that, the Russo brothers extended him a premiere invitation to Avengers 4. So I say, hey, if it took you 42 times of watching Infinity War straight to get a direct invite to the premiere, I'd do it.
I
Probably his whole
can't
Endgame.
even imagine that happening.
Endgame.
You would just have to, who knows if he really watched it.
He's got all of his ticket stubs.
Yeah, but you gotta slept through them all.
So?
He was out.
I've put a book on before.
You slept through the first one.
And Black Panther.
But the third time I went to go see
I don't
Beauty and
think
the
it's
Beast,
very
I
hard
had
for
a
you to go
book,
to sleep.
brought the kids, fell asleep, listened to my book.
And the last little bit of news that I got is Val effing Kidmer is coming back to Top Gun 2, which just started.
Kilmer.
Kilmer. Val Kilmer.
Katy Perry
Did you say
and
Val
Kisses Bang
effing
Bang.
Kilmer?
Yeah, I said
Okay.
Kidmer.
That's funny. Go ahead.
Iceman.
Iceman is coming back. They just started filming this week, and it has been confirmed that he's coming. So it'll be interesting to see what he's going to be, because he is far from looking like his Iceman days.
Oh, far. But Tom looks basically the same.
Because he's in the gym every day.
Vince Vaughn was arrested for DUI this morning.
I think we're on clone number 10 of Tom. So
I just wanted to mention that because
oh, Vince.
Well, no more drinking for Vince.
don't drink and drive and be a douche. He could have killed somebody. It could have been a hell of a lot worse. He got lucky that resisting arrest.
He's going to rehab.
Look, you can be a douche without drinking and driving.
I'm just saying
Drinking
it is.
and driving just makes you a bigger one.
Okay, that's fine. So that's just, I wanted to bring that out. So just yeah.
Okay.
I'm just disappointed
Something
in
is
you
going on in his life
because
where
he makes
he's
me
upset.
laugh, and I'm very disappointed. Not that he cares. Okay.
Okay, well, that wraps up the news. Moving into the recommendation list. Anthony, bring you up first.
Well, let's see here. I was watching Delta Force because we were going to talk originally about war and all that stuff, and not really a war film, but I was feeling that whole festive, it's a summer movie. And I remember watching it with my dad a long time ago. My dad would put on Delta Force, and I would hear the opening synths, and I would run into the room and start watching. Delta Force, if you don't know, is about a plane being hijacked, and the Delta Force coming to the rescue. Chuck Norris is in that film. Who else do we have in that film with him? It's Chuck Norris, George Kennedy, Robert Vaughn, Shelley Winters, and Robert Foster was it the film.
And Lee Marvin.
Lee Marvin, sorry. That was his last film.
Yes.
But Robert is from Rochester, which is another shout out to local people. But for the longest time, I thought Robert was, Middle Eastern, and he wasn't.
Okay.
So, good acting. and believability. It's a very, I wouldn't say cheesy, but kind of dark action film. I mean, there's a lot of things going on in it.
Where'd you watch it?
At home on DVD.
Okay.
If they put it in theaters, I'll go see it in theater, but it was on my TV. I was just feeling really like...
nostalgic.
Yeah. Chuck Norris is on TV, and I saw Sidekick, which was kind of weird, because he's in that too. And said, let's just watch Delta Force. And I always played a theme song for my daughter, and she bounces around the apartment singing and humming it and jamming on her keyboard. So, yeah. I mean, I would say watch it because, it's entertaining and in light of what's going on in this world. Things may get bad before they get good. But, I don't know. It's iconic Chuck Norris. It's Chuck Norris using his fists and not always using guns, and him being non-talkative, but just doing what he has to do at the end of the day and saving the day.
And part of the Chuck Norris lore.
Yeah. Chuck Norris jokes. I don't have any. I used to have a whole bunch in my head, and I just let them out. But, yeah. I don't know. I mean, for me, it was just really remarkable watching it as a kid and then watching it now, and it still holds the same weight that it's still entertaining for me to watch and still keeps my attention. And you notice little things like this film actually captivated my attention for researching more. I mean, I was like 8 or 9 when I first watched it with my dad, in a scene where they're making her, the stewardess, go through all the passports and pick out the Jewish people. I didn't know what that really meant as a kid, but then I saw the number on the guy's wrist when he handed over his passport, and I said, what is that? My dad said, well, look up the Holocaust. So I had him spell out the word Holocaust, and I went on to the library and started reading, and that began my whole love of history and understanding. So now when I watch it, I remember, oh, this is when I first started researching things and understanding.
Yeah, you can watch it on Amazon Video.
Free?
No, you have to rent it on Amazon and YouTube and Vudu. But if you want to watch it, there you go.
But yeah, so I say watch it again. If you haven't seen it, watch it. I mean, it's not a feel-good film, but the music is popping, and Alan also did the score for Marvel Infinity War. So there you go, too.
Oh, that was Sylvester did that
Yes.
music for this? I hate the 80s synth, though.
I know, but it's iconic. Like Axel F, you have to know. When you hear that, you know what it means.
Yep.
So,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
but I don't know. I just get nostalgic. I was born in 85, but I still feel I was born in 1981 and lived through the whole 80s thing. So, I don't know. It felt good watching it again. So,
It's been a long time since I've watched it. I don't remember much about it. It was one of those ones I watched with my father when I was younger. Valerie. Giving me jazz hands here.
I'm giving you those hands because
Awesome.
this isn't working. Here we go. I just want to get this up here. So I rewatched. You have already done a review on this, but I watched Ex Machina. Machina. See?
it doesn't
I
matter.
didn't say it before.
It's okay.
I didn't do a review on this.
Machina,
I did a new review on his newest film.
That's right. And okay, right. Got it. Sorry.
The one that was so forgettable, I've already forgot the name of it.
Okay. So I rewatched it, and Kendra saw it for the first time. And it has our girl,
Alicia Vikander.
yeah, she's in that. She's most notable for right now
Tomb
Tomb
Raider.
Raider, but
She's been in Danish Girl.
That's what she got her Oscar for.
right,
She's most notable to me from Ex Machina.
right. I mean, I didn't
That
know
was
it was
where
the
I
same
discovered
person.
her. Yeah.
Okay,
Well,
I didn't.
she's bald and a robot.
Well, I first got her attention because I realized she was Michael's partner, Michael Fassbender. I realized they were dating, and I saw him in Shame. So I said, hey, what's his girlfriend doing? And then I saw that as Machina, and I said, I should watch it. And I'm crazy. Continue.
And the guy, the
Yes.
main character,
Oscar
well,
Isaacs.
yes, please, thank you.
Star Wars.
Totally. Man, did he look different. I didn't even know it was the same person at all.
Shaved head. And
Anyway, it's about a kid who wins. He thinks he wins
a week.
a week to live with this
Egomaniac.
guy who has invented something, and he's gonna let him know about it, but he can't tell anybody and have to sign all these waivers. So basically, he decides that he made a
Artificially intelligent.
woman, and the kid is there. The kid played by
Domhnall Gleeson
Thank you.
from Harry Potter.
There we go. See, That's why she's here. To test to find out if he can actually tell if she is really a robot or
It's
if
the Turing test,
yes.
Yep.
named after Alan Turing.
See? Yeah. I can't, my brain is not able to function at that depth. But I enjoyed it the first time. I kind of happened upon it the first time. I don't even know if Jason saw it. But I can't remember if he came in. He came in for a little bit, and I don't know if he finished it. But I like the fact that even though this sweet kid truly had feelings for her, she whipped him all in the end. She tricked him all in the end. And it's kind of cool to see that happen. But I recommend that. That was great. And then we also watched Hush, because when Kendra comes to town, when Dustin comes to town, it is, horror film time. Now, we like horror, not slasher normally, but we're
big thriller people.
Yeah, big thriller. We found on Netflix Hush, which is, I kind of joked that it was like Wait Until Dark with Audrey Hepburn. If they were in black and white and she were blind, this girl is deaf and mute, and she's being terrorized by this guy. We don't know why. Don't know why. Don't have that back info. Could have used something there.
He just shows up.
Does it make it suspenseful without knowing the backstory? Or do you need that?
Well, so in The Strangers,
She asks, why do you do this?
yeah, why did you come? Or why is this happening? Or something like that.
Because you were home.
Because you were home, or because you opened the door, or something like that. That was it. But that's all you needed. We have no idea why this guy comes in.
This guy just shows up with a crossbow that has a bunch of marks on it, and we don't know why. Why he's there. He just finds out that she's deaf, and so he just like walks in her house and messes with her and terrorizes her
pretty badly. But it got great reviews, and I don't know if I think I put the blanket over my head maybe once or twice, but it wasn't like that's when I know it's a really good one. Like if I can't watch it, I might have done that.
It kind of reminded me of the newer film that just came out with Emily Blunt and her husband.
Quiet Place.
Yeah, Quiet Place.
Love that movie.
Yeah, I think you talked about it on one of these episodes.
Last week.
No,
Last
a
week.
couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Because we would go into her mind where she wouldn't hear anything. And then like it would all of a sudden drop back into you could hear something. So that aspect messed with us a lot.
I think that's an effective use of audio editing.
Mm-hmm.
But it was jumpy. It made us, we were actually yelling at the television.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of jumpy, another trailer that also came out this week, Halloween.
I told you about that.
Well, it just got released, the trailer.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Jamie's back in there.
The original
And now
Scream
she's
Queen.
hunting him.
I know. I think it's
Ooh.
badass. Oh, who cares? I think it's time.
The
Let's
series
bring Corey
needs to be
Feldman
put to
back in it too. Why not? Sorry.
Sorry to interrupt that. It was
No,
just you reminded me of
it was
jumpy
fine.
movies.
Anyway, this was on Netflix. It stars
Kate Siegel, and
Yeah.
it was written by her husband. And they actually wrote it with their house in mind, and they wanted that house, and so they actually filmed it in their house, I believe, which is when you watch the film, you're just like, oh my gosh, that's someone's actual house that this is happening in, because there are things that happen to the house.
Yeah, I think. I mean, it was worth it. Don't you feel like it was worth a watch?
Yeah, I liked it.
I liked it. It gets a little bloody. I'm not going to lie.
At the end.
In the
It
beginning,
gets a little slasher.
There's a little slasher in the beginning, and in the end, a little slasher. But it's a fun little watch. So
Well, and the guy that's the killer, he's originally from Broadway. And I can't remember right now what show he's in.
yeah, here we go. Now the guys are coming up.
I gotta look it up.
What's his name?
I can't remember.
So it's interesting that the production company is Blumhouse Productions.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, Gallagher. Okay.
Yeah. John Gallagher.
He was in Hamilton playing King George.
Thank you.
Oh, did not know.
Yeah.
What would have been
he's
funnier
known-
if it was the other Gallagher and he was walking around with a big mallet smashing watermelons all over the place?
I guess he's better known for Spring Awakening, though.
Yes.
Yes.
With Leah. Yeah, Michelle.
I wonder why they brought in
Different of a movie
He's a
would
good
that
actor.
been if instead of he walked in there with a crossbow, he walked in there with holding a mallet.
So you don't have a problem with Broadway people going into movies.
No, because it's a natural progression.
Yeah.
Just the opposite
Right.
bothers you.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry.
We'll get into that. We will get into
We
that.
will get into that.
So that's a go ahead and see it if you enjoy thriller movies, and it's on Netflix. So
Cool.
moving on.
And that one's been out for a couple years, or is it just released on Netflix?
These came out
It
last
was
year, didn't
initial March 12th, 2016.
Awesome. I have been excited. I've been waiting for. There's a show that came out on Netflix a couple years ago called Sense8. Takes place. It's an international movie of people of all different makes and backgrounds, and basically deals with 8 individuals that are mentally connected to each other, and basically how to wrap up the show in a very short thing. It's an evil corporation trying to take those 8 people and turn them into basically not so much weaponize them, but use them for nefarious purposes. So you have these 8 people who slowly develop this ability and realize that they're all connected to each other, and like one person can step into another person's life in an instant. So like you have Bach, I forgot what, Moon, who's from Japan or China, and she knows martial arts. And then you have somebody else that's a character that he's in Africa, and he gets confronted by a bunch of people, and they're trying to fight him, and all of a sudden they mentally connect, and he's now inherited all the martial arts that she had, and he starts becoming known as Van Damme because he has moves like Van Damme. But these are like the way they start getting to interconnected with the people. Like another guy is he was I guess what you would call like a German mafia son, very gun runnery, so he knows like how to work guns. You have other people that are tech nerds that are in California or Oregon in the West Coast, but it's a very international film. So there's somebody on basically every continent, and they all come together to, by the time, go after these. But it's also one that it's directed by the Wachowski sisters, who used to be the Wachowski brothers, who were behind The Matrix, and both of them have transitioned, and they're both transgender sisters now. And
It's Lily and Lana.
Yeah. And so Lana has been the primary on the whole series. And, one of the, the big things is 2 of the characters, this whole show has tapped into the whole pride. Sorry, I'm losing my train of thought here. And so you have a transgender person that's in one of the lead roles, and then you have a homosexual couple that's another set. And the way it plays with all the sexual tension between the 8 of them being connected, and things happen that are really interesting and weird how it goes throughout the series. But it's tapped into culturally outside of the film that
GTLA.
No, because I always screw this up. The LBGTQ society have really embraced this show because of the inclusiveness of it. And underlying this whole thing is just that. It's just that, like, breaking what you think of how people should live and how people are tied into boxes. Like Michael, who is his parents, and now he's Nomi after he's been through the transgender process, and his parents are still the old stodgy people. So you have like them being approached through there. But anyways, long story short, the show was canceled.
Yeah.
But the show was canceled without an efficient ending. And it got announced over the winter that we were actually going to get a finale, and it arrived on Netflix on Friday night.
What did you think?
Loved it.
Okay.
Two and a half hours.
I tried watching it. I mean, I'm in the mood. But sometimes I give things 15 minutes and then I'm done. But
the finale was definitely for the fans, gave them closure on the story.
your review makes me want to watch it, though.
The end scene is pretty intense. The last
I think I can handle
10,
it.
15 minutes is pretty intense. But it was a good closing for the show.
Is there an age range that you would say would enjoy it? Or are there movies, like different kinds of shows, that if they like this, they'll like that? Which was my father's feedback that we need to do. If you would like this movie, you would like that movie.
Oh, I have one.
What?
This is so unlike anything else that's out there.
Okay.
For me to put to point and say that, like, you know, it's like that, because it's a little mix of everything.
Well, it seems like it does seem like
you've got the people
something
behind
new.
Matrix that, you know, there's gonna be action in it.
Sure.
You know, that's a given. And yeah, there's some pretty intense martial arts or shooting scenes that happen in it. But, you know, they try to play the thriller aspect of, like, you trying to figure out, like, oh, why did this all happen? How is this all happening? Who's behind it? And then the show got canceled and you never got the answers to any of that, which is what happens a lot. You know, there's
Right.
a small market of people that really enjoy the show. You lose it. And
What's
you
it
never
rated?
This would be TVMA.
Okay. So
Or even higher than that. Yeah, if there's-
14 plus?
No, I think MA is the highest, isn't it? in
18
TV?
plus? 18 plus. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it's sexually explicit big time.
Okay.
I mean, it's not anything you want to have a kid in there watching unless...
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it. As a fan of the show, I was glad to see that it came back, got the resolution, and then at the end, the last 15 minutes was specifically for the fans. You know, it gave people who stuck around for everything, it gave them a little bit of, like, here you go.
That's nice.
You know, but yeah, I highly recommend the show. It's not for everybody. You know, if you have a very open mind and you're up for anything, watch the show and just enjoy it. So, but if you get squeamish or you have certain things that you don't like, it's not going to be a show for you. It's just, you know, this is very open about what it is and who it's by, and you know, it's interesting that it took Lana and Lily to make this, because I think Lana was already transitioned first, and Lily, I think over the course of making this, transitioned because it was only recently. But to see, you know, there's a lot of pride stuff that is pretty awesome to see in the show that you don't see anywhere else. You don't get that exposure in anything else, and fittingly, they released it in Pride Month.
Awesome. Wow.
So
I'm going to give it another go. Yeah.
just let your mind enjoy the absurdity of some of the things. And I really enjoy their sequences of when they start melding, when their minds are like, you know, like they're on 5 different continents, but all of a sudden they're all in the same room, and the way they keep cutting with the camera is like, oh, you'll be that, and then they'll be in that. And so your mind is like, who's actually in the same room? And you find out, like, nobody's in the same room. They're all in different spots. And then they'll walk around a corner, and then they're actually with somebody else physically. And then, yeah.
Okay.
It's just unique. So with that, we're going to take a short break, and we will be right back. For you, the listeners of the Cultural Stew podcast, Audible is offering a free audiobook download with a free 30-day trial to give you the opportunity to check out their service. Hey, Valerie, what have you been up to in Audible world?
I was very excited because this week, I believe that I spoke about Beartown,
Yes.
which I loved. And then it seemed like so long they were going to have the sequel was coming out. And then finally we realized, oh my gosh, it's out. I feel like I was the first person to buy it because there was not even an audio sample on there, which they have on everything.
Who did Beartown?
Fredrik Backman. Fredrik Backman.
And what's his new one about?
Well, it's called Listening to Us. And it's the follow-up to Beartown. That's wrong.
Listening to us against you?
That's wrong. I'm listening to us against you. The mind is in a fog. And
it's okay.
Blowing the fog away, and it's coming up. So Marin Ireland reads this. She read the original one as well, and she does a wonderful job. And I can't recommend this more. So Beartown and then Us Against You, about a hockey town. I never cared about hockey.
Ooh.
Just never did, and learned so much about it. But it goes into so many different people's lives and feelings of loss, and it stays with those, which I said before. And now we're having what happened at the end of the book, what they were all leading to, is being dealt with in this book. But she's also doing I'm thinking of the narrator, but he's also doing such a great job of writing where there's something else that's going to be coming. So I'm reading. I'm trying to get all the listening I can in, but.
And if somebody wanted to listen to this, how would they go about it?
They would go to the audibletrial.com/cultural stew. I believe that's the first time I said it right, and that's amazing. But definitely go to audibletrial.com/cultural stew. You'll get a month free. You'll get a
free audiobook. That you don't have to turn back.
Which is huge. People go up there and go get something huge like a Harry Potter book that costs $32 or 11/22/63 by Stephen King. That's a $30-$40 book as well. And get it for free and listen to them.
And get hooked.
And yeah, it's great for your car, for long. I mean, we're going into the season of people traveling all over and going on summer vacations. This is great for kids and everybody to listen to books. It brings you together. You're listening to the story together. I dig it when you're doing chores around the house and just put on, listen.
Once again, that's audibletrial.com/cultural stew for your free audiobook. And back to the show. And welcome back. Today's stew, like I said, we decided to blow up what we were going to originally talk about. So we're going to talk about something different since today is Tony Awards Day. We are not fully prepped for this, but we so happen to have a guest who is somebody who is involved in theater. Tony and I are involved in theater in different ways, and felt...
I know nothing.
She's related to me.
She's related to her.
There we go.
So I know stuff.
We're going to make this up as we go along, and hopefully this is interesting. If not, give it about 30 minutes, skip it, and go right to the radars.
Okay.
So, Tony Awards.
So, tonight we have Josh Groban and Sarah Bareilles hosting. We have a lot of celebrities coming and hosting. Mm-hmm. Some have been on Broadway, some have not.
These two have.
Yeah.
I mean, we had Neil Patrick Harris, who was in a couple shows. We had Hugh Jackman a couple years back. Mm-hmm. Whoopi wasn't really on Broadway, but she produced a show that was on. So
yeah, she was on Broadway.
Yeah, she's produced.
She's been in Billy Crystal.
Her first show was on Broadway.
Was she in the show?
Yes. It was a one-woman show. It was taped by HBO. That's what made her huge. That's when Steven Spielberg saw the show, and he decided to put her in The Color Purple. Are we being serious here? Nobody knows about.
I did not know about that.
Are we talking about like a dramatic one-woman show, or are we talking about a comedy special?
No, it was dramatic.
Oh, okay.
Okay, well,
didn't know that.
Look it up. Find it. It's spectacular. It's about when she has she uses her shirt when she's a little girl, and she has a white shirt, and she brings it over her head, and she pretends that she has long blonde hair. Is it coming back to you?
I will look it up. But so far, I just know her as a producer.
Excellent. She's fantastic, and then she plays different characters. And she
said she wasn't going to have any
Yeah,
Anything to say.
Yep, nothing to say. Nothing to say. And she said more than all of us so far.
Seriously, guys.
But the Tonys are tonight.
Yes, 8:00, CBS.
Yeah.
It's a weak season, weak year. I'm not going to bash it because I love theater a lot, and it's nothing to bash. But it's just this season didn't really wow me.
I mean, it's led by Mean Girls and SpongeBob SquarePants with 12 nominations, and then Angels in America, Carousel, and Band's Visit with 11 noms. And so we've got Frozen, Mean Girls, and SpongeBob up for Best Musical.
The funny thing about Mean Girls is that my friends who produce Submissions Only on YouTube were making fun of Mean Girls, and they had this whole thing where they had a song and dance thing, like an inside joke with the characters about a Mean Girls musical, and it took that show being over for them to actually make a real Mean Girls musical. None of the songs from the web series carried over, but it's funny.
I have to say that this is the first year I really could care less about what's being up there.
Sad.
And one big thing that's come out is the commercialization of what's coming out this year. But something that stuck out to me yesterday, I was reading an article. This is the third straight year, possibly the fourth straight year of a nomination for an off-Broadway, something that came from an off-Broadway nonprofit show. So that would be A Band's Visit. The previous years were Evan Hansen and Hamilton. They all came off of nonprofit off-Broadway. And it just kind of re-emphasizes, like, if we're focusing on the commercialization of what's happening, maybe we need to start focusing on, like, those off-Broadway shows because they're out there. That's what's winning. The Mean Girls and the Frozen and everything, that's drawing people into the seats.
Right.
But the other ones are there, too. I haven't seen Band's Visit. I've heard great things about it. Just nothing.
Well, little sidetrack here. My friend who was in New York City told me this a long time ago, probably when I was, a teenager. And they said that Broadway is not about, you've arrived. It's really about money. So Broadway theaters, equity rules and whatnot, it's not about, this is a great show and this is going to be memorized. It's about how many people do you think we can get in these seats? So Broadway is the number of seats. That's how equity makes their laws and bylaws. And that's how Teamsters get their things, is that we have 1,000+ seats in this theater, so we'll move you to Broadway. Now, that's not saying all Broadway shows are It's just saying that all, like Lion King, those are hundreds of seats you're getting there.
Oh, yeah.
And you're looking at a standard play like, say, Superior Donuts that came out in Steppenwolf. That was a small theater. And it still got to Broadway, but it took a while for it to get enough traction, the Tony Award and the Pulitzer Prize, for it to get pushed onto Broadway. Because before then, no one cared. It was just a small little intimate show. It was in front of a donut shop and a donut shop, and no one cared about it. But it was still important. Like you said, off-Broadway is important, but the producers couldn't justify expanding their seating and making it on Broadway. And speaking of which, Superior Donuts had a TV show, I think, on TBS. It was kind of weird, but it was entertaining because the first season was just the whole play on tape. And
tapping off into that a little bit, the shows that are going to come regionally or locally to your theaters for your productions to do them, you're not going to see Frozen. You're not going to see Mean Girls. Those are going to be Broadway or they're going to be on tour. The stuff that will, Band's Visit, Evan Hansen will make its way down into local theaters. Even Hamilton, eventually, after it's done doing its run in 3 or 4 years, will be released and start doing it.
Yeah.
They are. Evan Hansen just released their...
The rights, yeah.
Yeah, so they actually just released all the cities they're going to be in. A couple days ago, actually, they just posted those.
But yeah, that's for the regional tour. What I'm talking about is like when it now funnels down to where Jiva can do it or Blackfriars can do it.
Oh, I'm
when
sorry.
you break away from like those that are funded, like they would come to our auditorium here,
Rent and Cabaret,
but you wouldn't see them in any of your local theaters until a while. And
got it.
Those are the ones that are more suited to local theaters than something like Frozen, which is going to be a technological nightmare for anybody to put on. Then you have to deal with the rights. How many, I don't think anybody's put on Lion King yet because I don't think the rights are.
I think it hasn't, didn't like.
It was in.
You can do Lion King Jr.
Not locally, but I think someone has done Lion King. So. Not the adult version, like Lion King Jr. Maybe.
Well, yeah, there's a junior just about of everything.
Right, Layman's Jr.
Lion King in Chicago. Is that again? We're still not talking what you're talking about.
Lion King.
I saw Lion King.
That was
in
a tour,
Chicago.
probably.
It was a
Tour.
Just on
tour.
the tour.
Okay.
It's okay. I'm just trying to just show, like, you know, you've got the commercial stuff, and then you've got the stuff that can be really good and win those awards are the other shows. But we just happened to luck out with Evan Hansen and Hamilton in the last couple of years that they were also very successful. So, but
Are you saying there's a different? Okay, say I'm trying to understand what you're talking about. So we have the tours of the people that get selected, and these same people tour all around. Are you talking about having open auditions for a show and they're going to put it on?
okay. So in each of the major cities, there is like the RBTL is what it's called here, is the
Right.
Broadway Theater League. They belong to a network of shows. So when you bring a show out of New York City
Right.
and you start putting it on tour, you have a blanket number of cities that you're going to hit. So
Right.
you're going to hit Rochester, you're going to hit Buffalo, you're going to hit Toronto, you're going to hit Chicago, all across the
Cleveland.
If you
nation.
haven't Evan Hansen, it's not going to stop here.
And there's reasons for it. They're missing, yeah.
Okay.
But those are a different level of equity type theater. So they are
Okay.
professional people that are hired from the New York City, or they've been auditioned from other places and have come to New York City to get hired on the tour and the one on the
Okay.
tour. Then you have other theaters like locally where you have we have a Jiva theater here,
Lords.
which is an Lords. Yeah, what's the definition? It's
I'll get
but
it to you in a minute.
those are a different type of regional theater.
Okay.
I'm saying the regional theater thing a little bit differently because the RBTL isn't really a regional theater. It's a touring theater, I guess would be the
League
better.
of Resident Theaters, Lord.
Yeah. And so Jiva will house more newer stuff, like brand new musicals, brand new plays. They do anywhere between 10 to 12 shows a year there. And occasionally they do something like In the Heights, you know, because the rights for In the Heights are out there. So they'll take something like that, or they'll do Spamalot. Well, before they can do it, it has to be released. So it's got to do its tour. And then when it's done with the tour, they can release those out to the other theaters to be able to have, you know, whether
Community
you're
theater.
Bob, Anthony and Ron's corner store theater,
Or high school.
but we have to pay, but we'd
That's
still have to
different
go
thing,
and
too.
pay to
Do it.
produce it. So we still have to go to like
Dramatist, Music Theater International is one.
Yeah, MCI
Samuel
is a big
French.
one.
Samuel French.
so you have to pay them for the rights to produce the show.
Playing
you get
the writers.
scripts, you get all the things, and then you as a local theater can do it. But it has to go through certain channels before we finally get something like that. And Dear Evan Hansen, I think, is going to be one of the first ones off this last wave. That'll probably be in.
Hamilton's coming.
I think Great Comet might be.
I think we're getting that.
Hamilton's coming as part of
The
Broadway Theater
tour.
League.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, but you won't see it at a level like Jiva won't do it,
Right.
or
Of course. Right.
Blackfriars won't do it for
No.
a while. But it's something that they could do, whereas something like Frozen,
Too much.
it's way too much, and it's
Right.
not anything anybody.
It's kind of like this, what happened here, where Rent was on Broadway. It was on off-Broadway at the, I can't draw the name of it right now, but it was off-Broadway, then went to Broadway at the Leelander Theater, and then went on tour. There was the Benny and Angel tour, which I saw the Benny tour in 99, 2000 in high school, and then it went away. Then it had a revival. Then it went away again. Then it had a last showing on Broadway with a friend of mine in the show, and then it finally went away. And then as soon as that happened, JCC grabbed the rights immediately, and Ralph did it for Summer Stage, and that was Rent. It wasn't Rent Jr., it was just Rent. And I think that was one of the first in Rochester to do it, I think, or did Blackfriars do it first?
I'm not sure who did it first.
I think JCC, I think Ralph grabbed them first. And so it's about waiting, because I mean, same thing happened with August Osage County and Superior Donuts, where Jiva didn't want August because they thought it'd be not family friendly enough. So in the conservative theater, so they said, we'll do Superior Donuts, which is smaller cast and not that much in your face. And then at that same time, Ralph wanted Superior, but he realized that Jiva had it, so he realized he could get August instead, and he got August because he didn't really have to pay equity actors and all that stuff. And so community theater has its place. We get a lot of shows that regional theaters like Jiva or Syracuse Stage or Arena Stage in Buffalo don't want, and it's just a waiting game, really. It's just.
But you're not gonna be able to cast in a local theater. You're not gonna be able to cast Lion King.
No, that's a lot of.
In the same format that they would cast it at the RBTL or on Broadway. You're not going to have 100 people, and you're not going to have somebody that can make all those costumes.
And puppets.
It's just there becomes a limitation because of its marketization and its commercialization. But so
The
that's
hair
why
is coming,
Oh,
yes.
right? Hair.
Yep.
yeah.
So that's why, like, looking at these top, was it 4?
3, 4.
It's
4,
It's
and
4.
3 of them are, Mean Girls is kind of borderline, but it's commercialization. It's taking
A movie.
that movie and trying to capitalize on the marketing of it.
Like Legally Blonde did the same thing.
Like Heather's. Heather's was a musical,
Heather,
right?
it was off Broadway, but yes.
Oh. Okay.
So, commercialization is how I think Broadway survives in a way, because it gets people to New York City to see these shows. Like Lion King is still running, I think, it hasn't closed. And we had Wicked on there for a while. Rent was on there for a long time. Les Mis was on there forever.
That's out
Cats
there.
too.
Phantom is still there.
Still there. So there are some mainstays that stay in their theaters, and they just revolving cast.
Was it Andrew Lloyd Webber has
He's
4 shows right now?
Yeah, and he's getting he's getting a Lifetime Achievement Tony today with Cheetah Rivera.
She was on last year, wasn't she? Wasn't she?
Yeah, she was in it for last year and she was nominated.
Oh.
But speaking about commercialism, best play we have Harry Potter and the Cursed Child and The Children and Fair Nelly and the King and Junk and a one-man show, Latin History of Morons by John. I cannot say his name.
Legasmo.
Thank you.
Yeah, that one looks. I actually would love to see that one just because I like him. He's hilarious to me.
And he's getting a special Tony tonight as well.
He is?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
With Bruce Springsteen.
The Harry Potter one, that one just came over from England. Right? Was it at the West End or was
Yes,
that?
it was at the West End.
The Angels did too. Angels transplanted from the West End as well. They were in London. Nathan was giving interviews in UK for a while. That's where they were set up, and then they brought it over here too. So,
And that's got Andrew Garfield, Nathan Lane.
and
They're both nominated
Lee Pace. Yeah,
for Tony.
Lee Pace is in that
I think
too.
isn't it Lee Pace? Isn't he in the show? Or someone? I think it's Lee
I can't
Pace.
quite remember.
Give me a second. I'll look that up for you right now. But I think it's Lee Pace.
I would say who he is in the Marvel world, but I might have not seen that movie yet. So
She
Oh, yeah.
hasn't seen any.
I've seen some.
she's seen some.
I have.
We made her prep a little bit for the superhero show a long time ago.
I saw some.
Yeah, Lee Pace is in it.
Did you see Guardians of the Galaxy?
No.
I want to show her.
You should watch
Show
part
Show her,
one,
and then
part
you can
two.
show her who Lee Pace is.
Yes.
But they were so annoying in that.
Have you seen
Like-
Control Alt Delete at all?
No.
No. Halt and Catch Fire. Why do I always say Control Alt Delete? It's Halt and Catch Fire on AMC.
No.
It's a good show. You should watch it. And most of it's on Netflix now, so I think you can catch on to most of it.
I think I've heard
It
of
deals
it.
with basically the start of the computer revolution.
Okay, yes, I started watching that.
And
I mean, I watched it. I started watching. That was a long time ago.
a long time ago, it's like not even 3 years ago.
That's a long time ago in my brain.
They've already canceled the show. They're finishing up the last, but it's got Lee Pace and Scoot McNairy in it. It's a really good show.
Okay, as long as we're going on, I just want to say that Whoopi Goldberg, it was direct from Broadway in 1985. I watched it.
I was born.
It was spectacular. You can watch it on
even a
YouTube.
thought.
But it is absolutely fantastic, and that is where
Spielberg.
Steven Spielberg found her.
Okay.
And watch it is
I will
so worth a watch.
look it up. I'll find it. It's
It's
probably in the
really,
library.
really, really. I think you'll be impressed
Citizen,
by it.
I'm not losing my mind.
I like her as an
Giving it
actor.
away.
Well, she's spectacular. I watched it, and I was a kid. I had no idea what was going on for part of it, but she's really fantastic.
She's a good
Anyway,
actor.
and she was broke as a joke when she did this. Okay, moving on.
So,
Do we have another? Are we going by categories? Or?
Well, I've got the best revivals. We've got Carousel, or musicals. Best revival is Carousel, My Fair Lady, and Once on This Island. Only 3 this year.
Revival. I never even heard of Once on This Island.
Yeah. And then for best revival of play, we have Angels in America, Lobby Hero, Three Tall Women, Iceman Cometh, and Travesties.
Lobby Hero had Chris Evans in it.
it did. See, with Angels in America, that's my baby show. I know the whole play in and out. I used to do dramaturgy for that show when I was in college, so I have it memorized. You need to differentiate part 1 or part 2. I know they're in repertory and they think it's the same thing and it's great theater, but we didn't know which part they're recognizing. And that may be something I may tweet tonight.
lumped it
Which
together.
part are we recognizing? Because
Fathom will do it, and they'll show part 1, and then it's like, well, where's part 2? It drives me absolutely crazy.
Who does?
Fathom Events will bring up all these shows. They're doing that's when they're bringing back the Oklahoma with Hugh Jackman. It's a Fathom event. So
Newsies is also coming back in August.
Why? He just left. He just left.
No, that was like...
So you can go to your local theater.
That wasn't even last
and
year.
watch.
You mean
Fathom
on
events.
screen or you mean on stage?
Just look
On
up
screen.
Fathom.
Oh, never mind then. I thought you... Okay.
Events.com.
Sorry.
They did a special
over
filming
these
with
guys.
Jeremy Jordan.
Okay. I was going to say. Okay.
Half of the original cast.
See, my thing with Angels is that they had it on Broadway before with, Zach Quinto, and I knew looking at the trailer it was a dud, and then it kind of went away and got quiet, and then they brought it again, and Tony Kushner was all excited about it, and I'm like, okay, this is a real deal. But I'm not sure why I took that dud for this to happen.
I hate to ask this question, but how did you feel about the film?
Angels?
Yeah.
It wasn't bad. Other than that, I didn't like Al Pacino in the role. I thought he was a little too much,
Okay.
but Jeffrey Wright made me happy coming back and playing his original role, which was phenomenal. Because he's just a great actor all around.
Yes.
Justin Kirk, I think, fit prior. Lewis, Ben Shankman, who was on, he actually worked in the original production under Tony Kushner, so he's well versed. I just didn't care for Meryl Streep in the role, but they got to get people to watch it. So,
He just said he didn't care about Meryl Streep in the role. You just kind of said it under your breath.
yeah.
No, it's fine.
I get a lot
I
of
was just
flack for
saying-
that. I respect her as an actor. I do. Sometimes I think I just see Merle. I don't see the
Meryl.
Yeah.
character. So.
Meryl Streep, my cat.
Yeah. I just think I like her a lot. I just wish she would just step back sometimes and say, let me let someone else. I understand she's prolific. I get it. But I'm getting overwhelmed.
Flaunt it.
I just get overwhelmed. I'm getting a little exhaustion.
You're streeped out.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Is she up for anything this evening?
No, Meryl
Okay.
is not.
See, there we go. Good.
But we have Andrew Garfield, Tom Hollander, Jamie Parker, Mark Rylance, and Denzel Washington up for Best Actor in a play.
Ooh,
3
right.
out of 5 of our
Movie.
movie actors. Mark Rylance has become one of my favorites.
Didn't he win the year before? Did he win an Oscar? Like he won for Jerusalem.
Any of those
He's-
new to the
He
stage?
won twice?
New to us,
yeah.
we have Jamie Park.
He
I mean,
won
Like anybody from
Best
the
Supporting
film,
Actor, I think.
new to stage.
I'm not sure on Tom Hollander. Is he new to stage?
Give me 1 second.
Which one was he in?
Travesties.
Not sure. Name is not.
Oh, we got Tony Shalhoub is nominated too, but here's a history. But yeah, so this is a nice segue. I guess we can get into it. But we're going to be talking about a lot of actors coming from Hollywood to the lovely Broadway stage or just theater stage in general.
Yeah.
So
That's why I'm asking the questions now.
ask away. We can
That's
do
why,
this.
that's why I'm asking.
Yeah, he was Best Supporting Actor for Bridge of Spies.
Right. And he went on. Didn't he get a Tony for Jerusalem, or is that something else? So I know he got a Tony for something.
Are you
but
gonna
He was also in
give
Dunkirk. So
Are you going to give your
Predictions?
predictions?
Yes. He's
Sure.
gotten 3 awards.
He's talking about other things.
nice, Mark.
Jumping
2
all over
for
the
Best
place.
Actor for Boing Boing in Jerusalem and Best Featured Actor in 12th Night.
Man. Wow. Okay. It's almost like Audrey McDonald over here. But
Mark Rylance would be my pick on that list.
okay.
Well, if you do what I do, like with the Oscars, you sometimes can guess with the Golden Globes. Kind of. I'm not saying always. But the Drama Desk Awards were last night, and Andrew Garfield took it home for Best Actor.
They did the Drama Desk last night? The night before Tony?
Yes.
Yes.
What is wrong with them?
I don't know.
Attention.
That's a lot.
Money.
They're tired.
Focus.
That would be like getting ridden over.
Yeah.
Are those aired?
You're not even like
No.
No,
you're
they're
not even
not.
mentioned on Monday.
Jeez.
It's like the Indie Spirit Awards and the Oscars.
Wow.
You know, it's the same thing. It is. The thing with me in these nominations in general with Oscars and Tony Awards is that it's who I want to win versus who will win. I always have that
Yes.
duality.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Nathan should win for playing, but he won't because he already has 2. So and that's sad. I mean, they could have given one to Matt one time, but they didn't. But anyways, yeah, I don't know. It's just it's hard. So Mark probably will win, probably won't.
Who knows?
Andrew's a good actor, but
This for lead actor.
I don't know.
Anyway, for best leading
Welcome
actress.
to our show where we have many tangents.
It's okay. For best actress in a play, we have Glenda Jackson, Condola Rashad, Lauren Ridloff, and Amy Schumer. I thought that Glenda Jackson will win it for Three Tall Women. She's gotten the best reviews. Obviously, it doesn't mean anything. I really hope Amy Schumer doesn't get
I don't think
it.
they'll give it to her.
I really don't want her to have it.
She didn't have a name on the ballot, but, they do what they do to get people to watch. So people will watch the show because she's nominated. So that's what it's all about. It's about...
What did she do?
In Three Tall Women?
No, I'm Amy Schumer.
Oh, she did Meteor Shower. I don't know anything about that show. And
Do you? No.
I deliberately
Kinda blacked
didn't
out.
know anything about that show.
Okay.
But for Best Leading Actor in a Musical, we have Harry Haddon Patton, Joshua Henry, Ethan Slater, and Tony Shalhoub. And I think it's Ethan won for Drama Desk, but I think it's a tie for me between Ethan and Tony.
I think Tony's going to win just for the sake of that. It's Tony Shalhoub. I mean, he does good work, but it's also, he's come a long way from his roots in theater. But
Have you watched Marvelous Miss Maisel yet?
I have not yet. I'm semi-Q.
Fantastic on that.
Okay.
Love that show.
Semi-Q.
Tony is great.
And then we got Leading Actress in a Musical. We got Lauren Ambrose, Haley Kilgore, LaChance, and Katrina.
Donna Summer musical?
Yes, Katrina Lank, Taylor Louderman, and Jessie Mueller. Jessie won for Carousel last night in the Drama Desk Awards.
She's been on fire the last couple of years.
She has. So I've heard
what
people
did
want Taylor Louderman to win.
The Waitress.
She did Waitress and the Carole King
Carole
musical.
King musical.
So it's due.
Side note of the Carole King musical, Supergirl, Melissa
gonna
Benoist just
do
stepped
it.
into.
She can sing too. It was
She
amazing.
just stepped into the role.
Yeah.
Well, they had that one episode where Jeremy Jordan came in. He sang, and then who was the villain that was singing? It was the guy from Glee.
Yeah. I don't.
He played the villain that turned him on the musical.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Oh my gosh.
He played the maestro.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, the whole time as they were casting all the CW shows, I was just like, wow, look at all these Broadway singers that they're casting.
Yes.
Tony Award winner, Tony Award winner, Tony Award winner.
Yes.
Like, this is awesome. When are we going to have the music? And they finally did. And they got Pasek and Paul to write a song.
Yes.
And my crazy ex-girlfriend.
That's a good show too. It's kind of weird, but it's good.
Crazy ex-girlfriend.
Mm-hmm.
That's got, she's from here on it.
Yeah, Donna. Yeah.
Donna Champlin.
And then we have Best Featured Actor in a Play, and I'm really shocked that Michael Cera is on that list for Lobby Hero, and Anthony Boyle for Harry Potter, Brian Tyree Henry for Lobby Hero, Nathan Lane for Angels, and David Morse for Iceman Cometh.
It's nice to see David Morse on there.
Mm-hmm. And then...
It's been a while since he's been on Broadway.
Yeah.
David's been in Chicago, hasn't he? Or am I mistaking him with someone else?
He's been doing a lot of TV work.
No, that's not David. Then it's someone else. What's his name? He's from William Peterson. Is what I'm talking about. Never mind.
Because David's been doing, not Blacklist, the one with all the tattoos on her body.
Okay, it's coming to me.
They're FBI agents. He's the bad guy in that.
Okay.
Come on.
And then we have Best Featured Actress with Susan Brown, Noma, I cannot say her name. She played Hermione in Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. Deborah Findlay, Denise Goff, and Laurie Metcalf.
Laurie's back.
Yeah, I think she'll take it for Three Tall Women. But I don't really know the other nominees that well, so.
Well, Laurie was nominated last year, wasn't she? Or was it someone else? I think Laurie was. She's been like 2 years in a row. I think she's been nominated for a play.
And she got nominated for an Oscar.
For Lady Bird. And then Best Featured Actor, we got Norbert Leo Boots.
Again?
Alexander, I can't say his name either.
I'll take him any day of the week.
Who?
Norbert.
I love Norbert. I love
Yes. And then Gray Henson, Gavin Lee, and Ariel Stachel. I think Gavin's going to take it for, they've been showing him a lot on a lot of the Broadway Mania stuff.
Okay.
He's playing Squidward in SpongeBob.
What was he in before?
Gavin
His
Lee.
name is familiar.
He's big. He's I'm blanking, though, on what he's been in. But he does Squidward, and they've been showing that the way they made his costume is that they have 2 legs that are attached to his back legs, and he does a tap dance with 4 feet. So, I mean, he's gotten the Tony. He's gotten nominations for Best Lead Actor before.
Okay.
Oh, he was in Mary Poppins.
Right.
He was Bert. That's the last thing that I know he was in. And I actually saw him in that
He
role.
was also in Beyond the Sea.
Is that the Kevin Spacey vehicle you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay. I couldn't stand that, and I like the Bobby Darin music.
And then Best Featured Actress, we have a Rochester person, Renee Fleming in Carousel, Lindsay Mendez, Ariana DeBrose, and Diana Rigg. Yeah. And Ashley Park for Mean Girls. I don't know who will get that one. I don't know all of them that well. But, and then we got the Best Scenic Design, and I think Harry Potter and the Cursed Child is going to take it.
I saw the set design. I saw the design.
I thought Frozen would be nominated. Or this is play, I guess. So Frozen's not even nominated for the musical, but they show a scene where the ice all breaks down, and it's the actual set. I thought that was cool, but that might be the only thing about that set that's cool.
In which one?
Frozen. I just saw bits and pieces of it. But I think for Best Scenic Design of a Play, they've got Three Tall Women, Fair and Nearly the King, Iceman Cometh, Angels in America, which is a beautiful set, which I would not be upset if it won. And then Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. But Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, it looks like a scenic nightmare.
Are we talking about like visual projections in the back plus physical, or?
I think it's just physical, the scenic design. Because, I mean, I've only seen pictures of... I don't think I've seen pictures of the actual Broadway show. I've seen it at the West End. And it just looked like... I mean, they're trying to recreate Hogwarts on stage.
Perspective and all that.
And I don't know if it's all physical or if it's all projected.
That's a new thing, too. I saw Les Mis here, and they used real projections. Yeah. They had physical things coming in, of course, but they also had a lot of...
But I think that gets lumped under lighting design.
Yeah.
And their nominations, yeah.
Interesting.
And then Best Scenic Design of a Musical, they've got Once on This Island, Band's Visit, Mean Girls, My Fair Lady, and SpongeBob. I said SpongeBob because it just... to put all the underwater imagery. I haven't really looked at Once on This Island set. The Band's Visit looks very... And not that that's bad, but it looks very simple.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Obviously, I'm not one of the voters. I don't know if they vote on the complexity of it. But SpongeBob looks insane.
Well, I saw the Little Mermaid set, and I wasn't really impressed.
Yeah. So it just depends, I guess, on what they're going for. And then Best Costume Design, I said Angels in America.
They went through, I mean, I saw the featurette on the West End production and all the wigs and all the makeup and how fast they do things and the blood bag and stuff.
Well, and I saw the pictures of the angel scene.
Right.
And I was just blown away. It looks beautiful. And Best Costume Design of a Musical, they have Mean Girls, Once on This Island, Carousel, and SpongeBob. I said SpongeBob because they had to take animals and turn them into people for stage. And as I don't know if you looked at the pictures, but SpongeBob is not a sponge. He's a person. Ethan Slater is well built young man. He is not a sponge. And they've got Patrick.
I'm curious now.
You should look at the pictures.
Short correction here. Projections are actually considered part of the set design.
Okay.
Under their eligibility rules.
There you go. And then Best Lighting Design of a Play, they have... I think it's going to be a cross between Harry Potter and the Cursed Child and Angels in America.
Give me that again, please.
For Best Lighting Design of a Play?
Oh, okay.
They have Harry Potter, Angels, The Iceman Cometh, Fair Nelly and the King, and Junk.
Angels.
I said Angels, but I'm wondering because Harry Potter has a lot of those like spell casts, and I don't know if that's projections or lighting. I've just seen pictures, obviously.
I'm going to go with Angels. That's my pick. I mean, there's a lot of dramatic things.
Yes.
Okay.
And then
Have you seen Angels before on stage?
No.
Oh,
I want to.
I will bring you a furry.
Valerie, what have you seen on stage?
In my life,
Yeah, anything that's stood out to you over the test of time
Oh my god.
I
I can tell you.
besides hair?
No, not hair.
no, I saw Hair in Wichita, Kansas, when I was a sophomore in high school, and I don't know when I saw it first, but I saw Les Mis in New York, and I saw it in London, and I saw it in Chicago, and some other place.
That's not a bad one to see multiple times.
I've seen that one a lot. I have seen Mary Poppins with I took her when she was 16. That was on Broadway. And you know, I would like to, when I took her, she was big in musicals, and I knew that's what, you know, we were going to go see something, and so we saw Mary Poppins. I didn't, right? Because I've seen it twice. I guess I have, because I saw something. Actually, I saw My Fair Lady with Jason on Broadway as well. I'd like to see a play. I'm a play person, and it's not like musicals aren't good. And I love Les Mis because I love the music, and my sister introduced it to me, and I don't know. It's just, and then Hair is mine. That's mine. So although somebody had to have bought the record. It's either my mother. I can't imagine my mother buying that record, but we had it. So I played that over and over again. But I haven't seen. I mean, I've seen Spam a lot, and things here. But in Broadway, I haven't seen a lot. But I don't get to see a lot of plays.
We're gonna fix that this year.
And she's infamous for walking out of
We're
shows.
not walking out.
I saw Mamma Mia in Las Vegas. I left.
And she saw Joseph in the Technicolor Dreamcoat and
I left.
walked out.
Yeah. I saw Lion King.
Do you walk out?
No, but
She wanted to.
I wanted
It's
to.
a fantastical spectacle of puppetry.
I was bored. And I saw, gosh, I can't remember. I went to a lot of shows in Chicago. Oh, I saw Chicago in Chicago.
How was it?
Very good. I really liked that. I thought they did a great job.
You see the movie?
Yeah.
You like it?
It's very different.
I mean, sure. I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like, what's her bucket?
Catherine or
Renee.
Renee, when she didn't win, it kind of threw her through a loop.
Okay.
She kind of went a little nutty over that. Some of these actors throw themselves so much into it that if they don't win, it's like Joaquin there. It's like, these people just kind of go off the grid, flipping out, thinking, I don't know what else I could do to become that person. But I don't know.
Acting is an exhausting craft. It takes a lot out of you.
I can't even imagine doing that show when I went to go see Hedwig, I saw Hedwig with my guy.
And he's from Dexter.
My God.
Michael C. Hall.
Thank you. I love Michael C.
I was
Hall.
trying to give her a chance.
No, I know he was from Dexter, but I have the poster up, and I saw that with Dewey, who, again, you don't know yet. Sorry. But yeah, I saw that, and that was the one show that I felt like I could have walked right back in and watched again. I loved it, and he did a spectacular job. I had no idea he could sing that well. I was in shock. But Jeremy had seen the original Hedwig.
Okay.
Neil
Patrick Harris. He saw him, so
Do you know that Macaulay Culkin played Hedwig?
no. Yeah. So did a Rochester
Tay.
Diggs.
That was kind of awkward for him. He admitted, but he did it. So
So yeah, I really enjoyed Hedwig, but
Cool.
yeah. So I have seen some things.
Well,
I'm
we're
just
gonna get
very
you going more this year.
limited. I've had Jiva tickets for the last.
No, we got other
2
theaters
years.
besides Jiva.
No, I know,
But we're gonna take you to those.
but some of them are.
There's a lot of new stuff coming to Jiva this year that are original stuff. So
That's good.
it's always good to see original stuff.
I
Stuff
saw
that
one.
haven't been anywhere
Yeah.
else.
True.
But on the flip side of that, you also get things that are a little bit rough every once in a while. Like the corners.
The dog.
Corners.
The Curious.
Never mind.
Yeah. So Tony has an interesting take.
I have a thing where I don't like Hollywood actors coming to Broadway. I mean, I know why producers do it. It's a cash cow for them. They want to get people who like this guy or this gal and bring them to the stage and be like, oh, they're on stage. But sometimes it doesn't do well. And sometimes critics don't know how to be mean and tell the truth. And
what if it's somebody who started off in the theater and then
But as
got
well,
popular into film and then decided to go back?
I don't mind that. Phil did it. Philip Seymour Hoffman did that very well. Denzel has done it. Viola Davis has done it. It's just, some people really can't act on stage. They don't have the presence for it at all.
Give us some examples of who you're talking
You said that Julia Roberts came
No, not Julia Roberts. Jennifer Garner. I can't remember the year, but she tried to be in the musical Cyrano de Bergerac, and it bombed so bad because it was primarily because of her. If you look up on YouTube, you can actually find. Once again, I say it bombed because of her.
I didn't know she could sing.
I didn't. She was not good. There's totally a difference between acting on stage and acting in a film, and she did not do well. You can look up, there are scenes on YouTube of it. When I was in college, that's what our teacher showed us scenes primarily to show us some actors can't act both ways.
Right. It's hard going to stage from film and vice versa, but some can do it, some can't, and that's okay. Just know your limits.
I do like getting pleasantly surprised of like when all of a sudden you've been watching a film actor or a TV actor and all of a sudden you find out, they can sing. Like I didn't realize Kevin Spacey can sing until what was the
Describe
the show? It was about.
Describe it. I can tell you.
No, I know what you're talking about.
It's a film. It's based on
Beyond the
Somewhere
Sea.
Beyond the Sea.
Yeah, Beyond the Sea. The Bobby Darin story.
Until it was that show, I'm like, oh wow, he can sing.
He's been hinting on singing in a couple films, like You Suspect.
As much as I hate to talk about him right now, it was just he's one of those prime examples of like, nice.
Well, I've noticed that it's really big, especially in TV shows nowadays, to have an episode where this cast that doesn't sing or dance all of a sudden sings and dances, like Grey's Anatomy or Supergirl.
Buffy did it too.
Buffy did too.
And it's interesting to see the different ways they try to get into that. It's like, okay, well, you've got all these people that can sing. How are you going to actually pull that off and not make it feel like
awkward?
These people have just been smoking drugs.
Well, I think for Grey's, what they did was that they said the girl had a brain tumor or something, and she was just seeing this happen. And then for Supergirl, it was because a supervillain that just so happens to be musically inclined,
but
turned him in.
But the chick on Grey's was a Broadway star.
Which one?
The one...
the main girl?
No. The one who married George.
I don't watch Grey's Anatomy.
Neither do I.
You're on your own on this one.
Holy cow. I'm going to look it up now.
It's going to be too long. The thing is, Sam Jackson is the primary example. Sam Jackson graced our Jiva stage in the 70s, and he's not been on stage, I think, in a while. Probably a long time, actually. But I would welcome him back in the right role. Maybe in a, I don't know, certain show.
It's hard for me. It's hard for me to see him even... imagine him being in a theater.
I think we're just used to him swearing and dropping bombs. But I mean, if he mellowed out a little bit, I think it'll be good. It's just he has his catchphrases that people all know, and I don't know. Denzel, Viola, Merle.
I think Mark Rylance is a prime example. I mean, he kind of got plucked out of being on stage and became the
screen actor. Yeah.
Well, he became the I don't know what the word love actor of the actor that Steven Spielberg loves to now put in every single one of his movies.
Good Luck Charm.
And
but he's a good actor.
He's a great actor, and I love what he brings coming from theater into that. But it's nice to see that he loves theater so much he's going back and forth constantly. Right. Like Jake Gyllenhaal was
he was in Sunday in the Park with George.
How was that?
Sarah Ramirez. Yeah. No one knows her.
Jake was in This Is Our Youth with Hayden Christensen and Anna Paquin sometime a long time ago. Like my friend Mario has a poster of Jake and Hayden and Anna Paquin from the West End production of the show.
I can't see Anna Paquin.
I mean, a poster, not a click picture. But
so how do you feel about actors when they've transformed a stage show into a film?
I think it can be done well. It's just sometimes it's not. I mean, Tracy Letts adapted his play August to film, and I think it worked. Yeah. It wasn't my favorite adaptation, but I think it worked okay. I saw that being able to go crossover. There are some shows, though, that are just like, what do you call those? Think tanks or bottlenecks, where they're just in one location, and it doesn't lend itself to being on film because you're just in one room. I mean, 12 Angry Men is different. That could be cinematic. What is it called? A Few Good Men translated well over to screen, but sometimes all the verbosity of stage talking does not translate well, and it takes a good writer to say, this is not necessary, we're going to cut that out, and this is describing something that we can show visually. It's knowing the craft, knowing your medium, knowing theater versus film writing, and how we, I don't know how to say that, I guess, bring over the essential ingredients from both forms. So you can take a film and bring it to stage, but the stage going to theater, stage going to film can be kind of difficult. I mean, Tony said he spent a long time adapting Angels from the stage show to the film, and they gave him more free reign than usual, saying, well, this is an epic show, so do what you need to do. But he still cut a lot out of it. It's still there, but I mean, even that long speech that Lewis gives in the cafe, that's a long 6-minute long monologue that Lewis is just talking. And Tony said, I still cut things out of it. I mean, he cut, the opening of part 2. There's a whole sequence, and he cut that out too. A lot of people think that part 2 just opens with the angel coming, but there's a whole different opening monologue, and it's things like that you save for time because people in film don't have attention spans. But when it works well, it works well. When it doesn't, it doesn't. And I appreciate people bringing theater to film. It's just, I would rather sit in a concert viewing of a stage show where the special one-night engagement of a performance, like Rent, was filmed on Broadway and they broadcast it in theaters and put it on DVD. I'll sit through that versus watching Rent, the movie, with the almost original cast and Rosario being auto-tuned. And okay, I'm going to segue. That movie was what I wanted to do for the longest time, Rent, the movie. But then Chris said, my daughters wanted me to do it. I'm going to make it PG-13 so they can watch it. And that upset me. And then you have the cast agreeing to do this version of Rent. And then you have Rosario who can't sing. And then you have Tracy who actually can sing, who has wanted to be in Rent her whole life. She saw the original cast when they were on Broadway. And her dream came true working alongside them. But then you have Rosario, just cute, pretty Rosario there as eye candy. And it's like, it's just there are decisions about changing the time element of the show. And I was happy to see the movie being made, but then actually watching it in the theater, I walked out a couple of times. My friend Marcella can confirm it. I walked out, said I'm going to the bathroom. And I was so annoyed. I'm like, this just doesn't make sense. It's hard.
It is hard. I mean, yeah, you can have something that is really good stage film or stage musical or stage play and get ruined when it gets transferred over to film. But I enjoy the process. I enjoy knowing that, they're going to turn that into a film. And whether it ends up being good or bad, I appreciate that somebody actually took the approach to say, how can we adapt this in a way that we can... Because having people just all of a sudden in the middle of conversation start singing is not normal. So how do you make that feel normal in a film?
Well, that's the thing. Rent was a rock opera, which is why it's Rent, the rock opera, but they made the movie a talkie / it became a musical, which sorry if people think that's the same thing, but an opera is mostly singing the whole time. And even in Rent, the musical on stage, there are a few spoken lines, but in the movie they broke it up by having them have dialogue, and I'm like,
I can't even remember.
I think it just comes from how they are going to tell the story.
Right.
They set the tone. I mean, I don't know if any of you have seen Repo, the Genetic Opera.
I've seen parts of it, not all of it.
It's a different kind of film, and it's an opera, and it's just like the world that you're in, that it sets that tone of you can sing right now. Like it's like the last 5 years.
Right.
They just sing the entire time, like Les Mis.
That makes sense.
So...
And speaking of Les Mis, I loved how they approached the singing of that. It was... it wasn't overly audio produced. It was very just like all of a sudden they just started singing, and then let that be the way that they were singing in the film.
But they didn't do it in studio. They filmed them when they were singing in
live.
Yeah,
So
and
that was kinda
unfortunately,
interesting.
it produced some things that were, in the end, unwanted. But for the most part, it worked. And
I would still see it on theater. I mean, on the theater. Like, I don't own the movie, and I don't watch it over and over again. I like the stage performance of it.
Yeah.
And
I guess what I'm just trying to say, like, what I appreciate about the film is like them actually going to different locations and like taking it out of like, oh yeah, I'm looking at somebody's set design and the lighting, and you're looking at everything in a very flat format, whereas the film format allows you to see things in a 3D world and how those get interacted, and you're not looking at the side of somebody's face as they're singing to somebody else, and it just gives a different approach to it. And yeah, I've seen some shit, but I've seen some stuff that I really enjoy, and I'm like, I hope it continues. Like, that's why I'm excited to see In the Heights being made for 2020, is because that means the musical format in film is still going to continue to happen. And that was something that with a couple of the disasters of the last couple of years that they're like, oh, it finally might be dying out. And, you know, this is something that's happened in the past. We went almost 20 years, I think, between a couple of the musical films of the 70s until we started getting them.
It's like Moulin Rouge was the first kickoff, right? And it didn't win Best Picture, but then Chicago came out and won Best Picture the following year. So I think Moulin Rouge opened the doors for us to be excited about.
And I think you also got that going for you, too, when you have something that is created specifically for a film.
Right.
It doesn't have any, like, you're not comparing it to what it's been on stage. You're not comparing the lead singer or the lead actress versus what their
It's a different medium.
counterpart was. And so they're open to, like, okay, we're doing this with nothing to compare to. So Mulan was a perfect example. La La Land.
Right.
You know, some people hated it, some people loved it. I love their little takes of, like, being able to bring it out there. But they weren't being compared to something that was already out there.
Right.
Well, and
Hairspray, Burlesque.
I mean,
looking them up.
well, I mean, like, I feel like sometimes going from stage to screen, it's just a different medium for even the songwriters to play with. Because, I mean, I don't know how you guys feel, but Sweeney Todd, the film with Johnny Depp, I mean, that was just and I mean, Stephen Sondheim got to work on the film, and it was just like a totally different paintbrush for him to play with and just change how it all came around. Because I've watched the actual show on YouTube, and it's just a completely different experience than the Tim Burton film.
Right.
This is a good example as Into the Woods.
Into the Woods, they cut so much of the original show.
She loves the original show.
It's a good show.
Was bored out of my mind.
That was the show that kept me in theater.
And
I know.
the movie,
I feel terrible. I'm sorry.
the movie's fun. It's Disney, but I mean, they got all these huge name actors, Meryl being one of them, and it was just to show that I feel the movie was just like, hey, we want to do this. All these actors kind of went, oh, I've always wanted to be in that. Let's do it. And I mean, it was fun, but it's not.
It was watchable.
It's not, yeah.
I know, that sounds terrible.
Yeah, my family couldn't watch the actual, because I have the actual stage play on DVD.
Yeah, it's nice.
So.
It's hard, though. I mean, my wife saw Jersey Boys. We saw Jersey Boys, the musical. And she saw it actually at the auditorium when it came to a tour. And we were watching the movie, and I couldn't tell if she liked it or not. So, Grace, if you're listening, you need to comment if you liked it or not. You probably won't. But me watching it, I'm like, you made some choices, some cuts that kind of took me out of it. Like the ending, where you're waiting for them to do the whole thing, it just became like a montage / it didn't work for me, the ending. But
well, the thing that killed me about Into the Woods is that the whole reason that she sings children won't listen,
right.
Is because her daughter dies. And in the movie, she just rides away with the prince. Spoiler, by the way.
That's the thing I don't understand, why they make certain decisions. Like why they are, I mean, I know the screenwriters lose all rights to their film, their baby, when they sell it, which is sad because in theater, the playwrights own that thing and they can have a right to say, no, you're not going to change my lines at all. So I don't understand why the lack of respect happens in film. I don't get it. I understand that the director is the mastermind behind everything, but it's like, why can't you have equality there? The writer spent this long working on this story. Why not go to them and say, can we fix this? Can we work this out? But like I said, it was cut so much out of it. It's like, is that for the audience's sake? Because it's not a kid's musical.
I mean, I can understand why they cut a lot of the killing things out of it because it was so bloody on the stage play.
But
that's that's the show.
It's not a kid's fairy tale movie.
Yeah.
So it's like the cartoons are not just for kids anymore. They're for adults too, which I'm going to segue into that later because there's an awesome trailer we saw this week that was sweet. But
well, I think that about wraps up our stew for the day.
Right.
Our impromptu stew. So what kind of stew would this be?
Hashing
A stew
out.
that
Chuck
I
stew.
did not.
You talked a little bit.
I
got
did.
you.
I did. I mean, it was nice of you to. Like, what have you seen?
So, Tony, what's next week or next show's topic here?
Next show, I have a baby coming, as we all know. I haven't talked about it a lot, but Sebastian is due the 22nd of June. So I thought about my childhood and said, what would I want to be? Who did I want to be? So I decided next stew, we should talk about characters in novels or in TV shows or in movies that we watched growing up or even now that we wanted to be. Like I know
totally love this.
my
I love
brother
this.
wanted to be Blade for the longest time. He wanted to be Spawn. So let's just think about that. Let's find a role or a character that we wanted to be growing up.
That's all I did.
And
I just want to be somebody else.
how does it make us feel now thinking about it? Like maybe you wanted to be Harrison Ford in Raiders. You want to be Indiana Jones? We don't know. Han Solo? We don't know. But
I wanted to be the Hulk.
there you go. So
I did.
it's just, you know.
I would not. I don't mean to laugh at that. I would not have pegged that. As,
Dude, I had a Hulk toy box. I had a Hulk. I was like, I pretended to be the Hulk. I had
did you
Hulk
put on small shirts and
underoos.
rip 'em?
Tried. Yeah. Anyway.
So that's what I want to talk about. Let's talk about what was it growing up or now that we say, hey, I want to be that
I want
character.
to be Felicity.
So,
Well, let's reach into the grab bag. That sounds fun.
That does sound fun. Good job. I like that.
I think too much. I'm sorry. But yeah, that's what I want to talk about next time.
Into the Kids Corner with Valerie Vidmar.
Okay, so I have watched a couple of episodes. Kendra's watched all of the episodes. However, today's Kids Corner was brought to you by my 13-year-old niece, Mackenzie, who told me she is a listener of the show. And she told me for Kids Corner that I should do Anne with an E, which is on Netflix. It's an original. I watched, it's based off of Anne of Green Gables, which I watched. I watched it a while ago. I think I watched even on tape or something. My girlfriend Becky made me watch it over and over again because she was in love with the boy on the show,
Gilbert.
Gilbert.
And
Anyway.
Mackenzie's in love with this Gilbert on the show.
Oh, way to embarrass her. But so
You just turned her face red.
yeah,
She knows.
She's so she told me to recommend that, and I think it is a great recommendation. I watched the first couple of episodes and really, really enjoyed it. Zoe struggles with. They do show some of Anne's early life, which was abusive, and Zoe, yeah, that was too much for her. So she cut that off pretty quickly.
So are you a fan of Anne of Green Gables in general? Not
I have
including
not
the
read the
Netflix?
books, and I saw the old TV shows, and I liked what I saw of this one. But you saw it.
Yes, I watched the entire thing, and I read the first book when I was in grade school. Mackenzie, who's my sister, she got the whole series for Christmas, and so she's slowly going through that because she loves the show. But the show is, I will say, the first episode's a little hard to get into because it's kind of darker than you would think Anne of Green Gables would be, because it's setting up why Anne is the way she is, this optimistic, she romanticizes life and everything. There's a reason for everything. And so they kind of set that up, and it's kind of sad. But as the episodes go along, you start to cheer for Anne, and you do start to like Gilbert because he's one of the few that are nice to her. So it's a different take on, I think, Anne of Green Gables.
It definitely.
Well, now for a different take. So I photographed for Merry-Go-Round down in Auburn. July 5th, they're opening up Anne of the Green Gables musical. Brand new musical, folk rock musical. So
Ooh.
there gives you something different to starts July 5th.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Do you have, let's see, book of the week game? Do we have any?
All right.
Everybody
Move
was
right
really
into
busy.
the radar. Tony, looking kind of empty there.
It is. I'm going to try reading some books. I don't know what yet, but I'm just gonna probably be doing a lot of reading and writing, and when things pop up, they pop up. I have nothing.
If you're trying to write something, it's going to be difficult.
No, I can read and write at the same time.
It's going to get a little difficult in the next couple of weeks, though.
I mean, you'll be fine.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
Juggling the two.
Well, I don't sleep, so 4 hours a day, I'm good. So
Really?
yeah,
Wow.
I feel like I have a hangover with 4 hours.
I
of
can't
sleep.
do 4 hours.
I've been doing that since I was young. I can just 4 hours sleep is all I need. So
Some people are built like that.
My problem is I wake up regularly, like 6 to 6:30. Like I could like not set an alarm, and I'm gonna wake up at that time. So if I go to bed at 9 o'clock, I'll wake up at 6 o'clock. If I go to bed at 2 o'clock, I wake up at 6 o'clock.
what is the system that I do? Where either I let myself get really tired, then I crash, or I go to sleep every 2 hours. I try to take a 15-minute nap or something like that, and it usually adds up to 4 hours. But I don't. Sleeping is boring to me. I find it really not necessary. So.
How about you, Kendra? Anything on your radar?
Hereditary is the film that Valerie and I want to see very badly. Go ahead.
Oh, and I'm having her watch The Fall, which is on Netflix.
From season 1?
Starting with season 1. But and then I'm watching Marcella actually came out on Netflix, and it was at 2016, and I watched the whole thing and I loved it. But 2017 went by, and I thought, okay, well, they're not going to do anything. And then all at once it popped up yesterday.
This series?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a series, I'm sorry, on Netflix. And I was so excited, but then I realized that after 2 years, I got to go back. So now I'm rewatching the first season, and it's like I've never seen it. But yeah, I like Marcella on Netflix, and then hopefully we'll get to the theater this week to see Hereditary, and that's about it.
And then another thing that's on mine, I've been watching Riverdale, which I don't know if any of you have been watching.
Let me know how that is. I'm only curious because now they just did Carrie the musical, and it's like, do I want to watch all of Riverdale just to lead up to understand everything going into that? I
only started to watch it because my sister wanted to see it really badly because her friends are watching it, and that doesn't really help my case. I'm 23, she's 13. But I really enjoyed it. I used to watch Archie, the cartoon, when I was younger, and so it was just this different take. I think Mackenzie and I are in love with Cole Sprouse, who plays Jughead. They've changed everything. It's not the same. It's got murder mystery. It's dark. I don't know. Zoe cannot watch it. So that is not a Kids Corner thing. But so
I've just been curious to watch it. I've heard good things about it.
It was surprisingly good.
Issues with I've watched so many high school.
I tried
stuff
to watch it.
That it's just I'm to the point do I really want to
watch
more high school drama? My
mom watched a couple episodes and she seemed to like it because Mackenzie and I didn't know because we're young, but the people who are playing the older people, I guess, were teen heartthrobs when she was in. There is who's the bad guy in Scream? The main one. He plays the dad of Jughead. And then there's a couple of teen heartthrobs from Beverly Hills, and they are the dads and moms. Like Molly
Priestley?
Ringwald is a mom.
Really?
Yeah, she plays the mom of Archie, and she does not look like she did in Breakfast Club. Just saying that right now.
I'm talking like Jason Priestley or Aaron Zierling.
He's got a weird name, the guy from Scream.
I don't think it's the main one.
No, it's like I thought it would be Beverly, whatever. But yeah.
Cool. So Hereditary, Riverdale, Fall, Marcella.
You?
Me? Saw 2 movies over the last couple weeks. Hotel Artemis, saw last night, and I saw Action Point last week.
How was Hotel Artemis?
Well, I'll go into Action Point first.
Okay.
I was disappointed that Action Point wasn't actually based off of the Action Point in New Jersey. They set it in California and kind of improvised. So it was like they had an opportunity that even though, it was Johnny Knoxville lead and, dumbass stunts happening, they could have actually told the story of the show, of the actual park. Instead, they kind of fictionalized everything that happened and made it funny. So there were some funny parts in it, but it was what you would expect out of a Jackass crowd type show. Hotel Artemis, Jodie Foster and Jeff Goldblum. One would think this would be a good movie. It needed more people in the hotel would be my first thing. There was like, you got Charlie Day, the girl who played the mummy.
Okay.
And then I can't remember the main actor.
So it wasn't populated enough for you think? Like there wasn't enough?
There wasn't enough tension going on as to like, they try to play the tension of like Zachary Quinto and was Jeff Goldblum's son coming to the hotel. And, there's no tense action scene until like the last 10, maybe 15 minutes of the movie.
Sounds horrible.
And so it was almost like a bait and switch because this dealt more with Jodie Foster's loss of her son and her uncovering how he died and her revenge for that. And I don't recommend either one of the movies.
Okay.
I mean, if you have a rainy day,
maybe
don't even put in Action Point.
Okay.
Maybe on Hotel Artemis, but it's nothing special. Jodie Foster plays a really weird nurse lady. And my queue almost finished with Lost in Space. I just haven't had any time to catch up on anything. Incredibles 2 comes out this week. Tag comes out this week. And before we have the show,
Incredibles 2, that'll be fun.
Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom.
We'll probably go to Incredibles 2.
And then
so that's
still Ocean's 8 2 came out this week.
I don't have any interest in watching that. I feel bad.
I just want to see it, I guess.
Yeah.
By the way,
Super Mario over there?
No. By the way, the two actors who were in Riverdale are Luke Perry and Skeet Ulrich.
Oh, Luke.
Skeet Ulrich. That's the poor man's Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
Poor Skeet.
He's good in that, too.
Wasn't he in Worst Celebrity Chefs of America like a week ago?
I just know him from Scream.
Okay.
Because he plays the boyfriend.
Okay.
Cool. Anything else?
Oh, I don't know. There's a new Spider-Man trailer that came out this past week that got me all
Spider-Man
excited.
Into the Spider-Verse.
Yes. We got Miles appearing, and it's just phenomenal. Got like an adult Peter Parker, which I like.
And Spider-Gwen.
Yes.
Spider-Gwen.
I like seeing Peter grow up.
And Haley Steinfeld does her voice.
Oh, okay.
That's the other movie trailer that came out.
Yes. So, sorry.
Bumblebee.
Yes.
With Haley Steinfeld in it.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm excited to see Haley Steinfeld. I don't know if I'm excited to see another Transformers movie.
No.
It was kind of cool. And then I found out she was doing Spider-Gwen. I was like, oh,
okay.
That's cool.
But yeah, it should be cool. So.
Awesome. Well, as we talked about on the start of the show, suicide sucks. And, reach out to somebody if you see them in need. And if you need the help, don't fear to reach out.
Call somebody.
That number is 1-800-273-8255. So 1-800-273-8255.
Just know that whatever feelings that you're feeling, somebody else has felt them or is feeling them. You are not alone. So give a call or text or an email or something, whatever you can do.
Yep. And if you're out there, smile at somebody. Say hi to somebody.
I agree. Be kind.
Somebody might be having a bad day and you might think it's resting bitch face, or it just might be them just having a really, really bad day. And just by you saying hello, hi,
or smiling,
give them a hug, even if
break.
It's unwanted. Just make sure it's
the nice kind.
Yeah, let's not go into the
Fist
bad
bump.
unwanted hugs. Just be cool.
Be kind.
Tony, where can we find you?
I'm all over Facebook and on Twitter at SMTORCHIO. On Instagram too. I'm not sure my handle, but it's something that I made up. But find me on one of those Twitters or Facebooks, and I'll link you to it.
Kendra, you seem like a social person.
I am. I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat.
What's your tag?
For Instagram, I am Kendra Jane, and my Snapchat is khack15.
I have been pretty quiet. I have not really been on anything, so yeah.
Well, you're on drugs right now. So.
Yeah.
Yep. So we still don't know. I think I'm Instagram at Pennyline64. I still believe that's what it is. But I haven't posted or anything.
It's the Twitter one where you have two accounts.
I actually had a friend that contacted me through Facebook and said, I haven't seen you posting I was just wondering if everything was okay.
Well, if she listens to the show, she'd figure out.
No, what I'm saying is I think it's interesting that I would know. I don't know if I would ever notice if somebody wasn't on
Facebook.
On that much.
I come and go with Instagram.
Nice.
It's like I'll be on it for like a couple weeks and then.
But that's a great example of reaching out and just checking to see if Benny is okay.
Right.
That's kind of cool.
Sweet.
Yeah.
And Valerie has been wearing an awesome shirt this whole time that I haven't said anything about because it's actually a cool thing for two different reasons. Because it's Live and Let Die, Paul McCartney, and I love it because it's also a James Bond movie.
That's fine. I got it at one of his shows. So yeah, I enjoy it very much.
Just
so,
that.
Plus, I do have the entire Live and Let Die. I taped from my phone one of his concerts, and I warned the people around, like, okay, just chill, it's gonna pop. And when I took Kendra 2 years ago in Philly.
What's gonna pop?
They stage everything. Live and Let Die. Boom.
Oh, I thought you were talking
about
what you were recording.
Fire.
No. The stage.
Got
The
it.
stage. He's like pyrotechnics. Everything is just enormously loud and awesome, and it's the best thing. And I have her screaming like it was fun.
It's crazy.
It's very cool. It's the best song on the tour. Everybody looks forward to that kind of.
And closing, after following up with that, one of the best things I loved about the Jack White concert, it was a phone-free show.
That's
You
cool.
had to put your stuff into a thing. You couldn't have any smart gadgets or not. They kicked out like 5 people. Like literally yanked him out of the crowd and walked him out the door.
Well, if you're Art Garfunkel, you just end your show. He just said, "I'm done," and left because people were on their
I'm glad
phone.
that he didn't, because that would have.
No, he did.
I'm saying I'm glad
Oh,
Jack didn't,
yes.
because that would have really sucked for the people that were actually
Trust me, I know.
doing what they're supposed to do. But right, well, thank you. You can find me pretty much everywhere at GF Media. You can find us at culturalstew.net, at culturalstewnet on Twitter, and Cultural Stew on Facebook. Thank you. Catch you later.
Ciao.
The intro and break music is Please Listen Carefully by Jazir, available through the Creative Commons license from Free Music Archive. The outgoing music is provided by Epidemic Sound. Please see our show notes for details on what the outgoing song is and who it is by. And also, as always, if you have a piece of music that you'd like us to play or consider playing, please contact us today. Like what you've heard? Want to continue to hear more? Please consider Patreon. What is Patreon, you ask? Patreon is a content creator support site, a way for people to support the things they love and allow creators to continue creating the content that they love. Please consider heading over to patreon.com/gfmedia and becoming a Patreon supporter today.